Howdy folks, welcome to our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your GM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Kara, and Ari. Dan will be joining us in just a couple minutes. He's just running a little bit late. And then Olive is missing this evening because they're taking a How to DM class.
Boo!
Boo, Olive.
Take that missing the chance to play to learn how to DM.
I know.
How dare she?
How selfish to learn new skills to make games for us.
How dare you?
Terrible. But before we concentrate too much on Olive abandoning us, we have a couple of quick announcements. First of all, we have the player camera should appear a little bit wider and a little bit more vivid. Our sound should be nice and crisp. What?
I'm not wider. No, kidding.
I said the cameras. A little bit wider, a little bit more vivid.
Apologies
we have
for the high def.
brand new cameras, and so hopefully they look good. Also, Talon, if you can let us know how we sound. We've tuned our music and our sound up a little bit, and that's a huge thanks to everybody from the Courts of Everest group who came together on a Sunday to do all the sound checks, and to Matt for doing all the actual work while we sat around and just talked and said really weird stuff, which you can see on Patreon.
I made bean dip.
What?
I made bean dip. That was my
You
contribution.
did. It was really good too. Your support makes all of this possible. Just like I said, we have a Patreon, and when you subscribe here and on YouTube and on Patreon, it enables us to make many different upgrades like these. We also have a YouTube, an Instagram, a Threads, a Blue Sky. Those and our Patreon are all at Albron RPG. Tomorrow you can join our D&D group at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, where the Wandering Hearts are gearing up to engage in the Battle of the Bards in our increasingly musical adventure. And then on Sunday, we are going to be playing Session 2 of our Fallout Black Heart of Texas adventure. This is a game where a group of adventurers have been summoned together by the Ghoul Baron to Rosa's Cantina in the Settlement of Bliss. Matt is playing Bob the Ghoul. Kara is playing Peggy the Merchant. Olive, after abandoning us, will be rejoining us as the Mr. Handy unit named Miss Greta. And then from our D&D crew, Vincent will be playing Jebediah, the super mutant. Hannah will be playing Madeline, the former Brotherhood of Steel member. And then rounding out our cast is Alana, a gunslinging survivor who really embodies many people's idea of Texas. The gang will be traversing a tunnel with glowing water to reach the NCR patrol in the El Paso airport beyond, in hopes of securing a ride to Austin. Aside from that, which will be at noon Eastern Standard Time, right here on Twitch, we have Monument Studios music in addition to Sirenscape to thank for sound. And that is all the announcements that I have. If you want to hear even more announcements, because sometimes it's just fun to listen to them, you can hear them over on YouTube for the State of Albron 2025. There's a video up. It's like 15, 25 minutes long, something like that. And it has a lot more events that we are doing this year. There are even more coming. I've had some inspiration. So we have a couple of cool events that are going to be happening over the course of this year that haven't even been announced yet. But that is all the announcements that we have. So it's time for this week's session of Mosaic Team 5.
Daddy.
All right. And with the recap, Kara, take it away.
And in, hold, and relax. Mosaic Team 5. When last we played, our journey through the underground grotto came to an abrupt end in an unfinished room, with pillars and an ominous obelisk, and a large dragonkin with a jelly on its head. Sorry, I got distracted.
My fault.
With her knowledge of Draconic, Spice was able to communicate and was told to give ourselves over to the stone. Declining the offer, Spice leapt on the dragon's back, reaching the parasite, and began attacking at close range. Gibbs provided cover with a spell shield, while Bubbles was paralyzed by the Encephalon's debilitating psychic gaze. He was freed by the touch of Gibbs, able to rain down blows from above, while Hisoka desperately attempted to regain his title as Father of the Year by using a shield gun to protect his daughter. Or attempting, I guess. He got there in the end. That's the thought that counts. Thankfully,
I think he actually didn't even get Spice. I think he got somebody else.
He got
Yeah,
game.
so-
He got
Yeah.
game.
he got a person.
Yeah.
He helped. It's good.
It's really by accident.
And how did that make you feel?
Protected and safe.
Thankfully, the team was able to
Accidentally.
separate the Encephalon from the dragon host at the expense of a few rats. Upon reviving, we learned that the dragon was the former head of security. Oh, damn it.
Kato XO. Kato XO.
No, Matt's decidedly not helping me.
I have to run
Potato
back
XO.
and grab it now.
The dragon.
Yeah, Kato XO.
Cataraxa.
That Cataraxa, thank you. Again, he's in my notes as a famous author. Upon reviving, we have Cataraxa, there we go. Echo found a remaining miniature Encephalon, which was quickly grabbed up by Spice. She accepted a symbiotic, quasi-parasitic relationship with the creature in order to grow in power. The creature's only request was that it be kept from the light. That light of Iomide. The dragon brought us... The dragon. Katoexia.
Katoexa.
Katoexa.
Katoexa Ungries, who you could also refer to as Director Ungries.
Director Ungries is going to be the name now. It's forever.
Yeah.
Director Ungries brought us to the site director of the Elysium Resort, where we were offered a great reward as we had done a service to the goddess of the planet. We would have the opportunity to battle an aspect of the god Iomide and be granted a boon. Spice, however, recognizing the god as the adversary of her new Encephalon buddy, rejected the notion outright, and we were summarily dismissed from the office of the director.
With no boons.
No boons. Our boon is that we get to spend the rest of our time and not
With
be kicked
each
off
other.
the resort. That's the boon. A short while later, we received communication from our director and a map pinging to meet up in Shane's room. A map ping to meet in Shade's room. I used voice to text to write this. There, through hollow production from Squeak's collar, we received an info briefing on Aphrodite, the megacity of Mars that was to be the site of our next mission, and the location of Gaia's mutagen. We discovered a variety of groups that are wreaking havoc, including android separatists, mutant gangs roaming the lower sprawls, and others vying for control of T-Town and below, the ass end, or crotch end, as it were, of Aphrodite. Deciding on T-Town as the base of our operations, and ordering some supplies preemptively, the team went back to our separate rooms, but not before Bubbles had a chance to voice his concern to Gibbs and Spice of zealous androids. We were able to tuck in for the night and get a lovely night's rest, while Spice dreamed. And it is the morning of the next day where we begin our session.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
I don't know why I chose such ominous music.
I started relaxing and then it just kept getting more ominous, so I just
Because
Kinda came out of it and
now
got a little
it's
bit more corporate.
vacation day. You like to have that like
Final
cold music
day.
before entering the hot springs and relaxing.
Yeah.
Vacation. the final
it's the
day.
ice plunge before we go in.
So for all of you now, it is about 10:30 in the morning, right around 11 actually, depending on what time you all fall asleep, on the 12th. This is a Tuesday. You have today and then most of the day tomorrow left in this sort of excursion. You know that sometime around 5 p.m. tomorrow you will be leaving and entering the drift, presumably, unless you are going to be puttering around the local system for some reason. In this time, you have sort of the day stretched out in front of you. But as you awake and you sort of come to, each of you would notice that a small piece of paper, which is certainly a luxury item, folded and kind of crisp eggshell, has been slid under your door.
What does it say?
Gives you wake up. You kind of scamper out of the little nest that you have composed of your bed. I imagine that gives you kind of take all the soft stuff off of like the couch and like the weird little chair that's always facing the bed in every hotel room.
The cuckold chair?
Exactly, the cuck chair. You grab all the cushions off of that. You go, you take all the extra towels and the bathrobe and everything, and really just this big nest. But you scamper out of that, and you make your way over and you pick up this little thing and you fold it out. And you can see that there is going to be a pretty large influx of new guests, and as a result, this evening there is going to be a social dinner that is held for the it's welcoming the people who are arriving on USR liner 455. It is described as a guest social. Food, cocktails, and intoxicants will be provided. Kind of gold embossed on the bottom. It's a beautiful invitation.
I said out to the group chat, you guys get this, or is it just me? Am I special? You want to go? I want to go.
Who's it sent by?
Each of you gets a message from Gibbs, and you look, and it's identical to the thing that is at your door. You can see this is on letterhead for the Elysium Spa and Resort, and so presumably it is from the staff of the spa. And given that these are all printed, though very nice, they're all, printed out. Nobody's doing like some ominous handwritten, this is going to be like a murder mystery.
There's no cutouts, letters.
Exactly.
I would want to look up the specific liner and see like who from the USR is attached to it.
Make a cultures check.
Like looking up the staff, I guess.
Sure.
It is an odd choice for the guests of a resort to welcome other guests.
18.
With an 18, you know for sure that the USR kind of liners that exist in the USR.
My my pilot background.
Based on the specifics of your pilot background, this isn't really lockout or racing.
It's knowledge about starship and vehicle models. I guess it's only famous hotshot pilots.
Yeah. And so this is not something that people are really racing around, except for like, once a year, you would know with an 18 on Earth, in old human custom, sometime in the summer, is that an ancient infosphere channel called ESPN puts on a channel called the Ocho, and usually there'll be stuff like that on there. This is not something that you would race. You don't know a ton about the model or the make. You do know that USR, the government, has a sort of like government passenger system that includes escorts, because travel through space can be dangerous, as all of you have experienced. It's a perilous procedure. And so it's one of the safer, a little bit slower ways that you can travel. And many people opt for this.
Okay. So diplomats and such? Not
even diplomats. This could be anybody. Although coming to this particular planet, likely diplomats and such, yes. With an 18, that's all that you would really find. Yes, Echo.
I also wanted to look something up about the liner. Echo wanted to look up flight information to figure out where it's coming from and where it's been.
Sure. Make a... So how do you want to look this information up?
I mean, we have the name of the liner, and its like ship number.
Sure, make a cultures check then. Infosphere search it is.
Ooh. That's 32.
Okay. You do a little bit more digging than Shade does. Shade starts looking at it, and it's just like slow ship after slow ship. This is nothing interesting to you. You lose focus very quickly. But for you, Echo, each one of these little liners, they have nicknames. You see things like the Green Giant. But this particular one, liner 455, is nicknamed Little Blue because of the paint job on it. It's also a little bit on the smaller side. And because of that, the passengers are a little bit more specialized. Similar to what Shade had kind of guessed, this is a little bit more high class than many USR liners. And with this one in particular, it's coming straight from Mars.
It might be a good opportunity to meet some of the passengers who may be high-profile clients from Mars.
Recon gives texts with like 6 N's.
Okay.
And food.
Each of you sends these messages.
And with our commendation, we might be looked on favorably.
There's a chance that we are approached before.
Presumably you're now making either using the psychic connection or...
We got.
All
Do you want to
legs.
keep hitting the button to
Well, can't we just keep an open voice channel?
You can.
We
That's
can call
why
each other.
You guys have so far been saying you're sending messages. I just want to know what sound effects to make, okay? Ring, ring.
I start the 3-way conference call.
Okay, no problem. So there is a ring for all of you, and presuming you're not trying to give me a hard time, you answer, and you start having this conversation.
I'm gonna bring all my cousins. Great.
Is that a wise choice if this is a recon mission?
We would. There's a chance that they are individuals who are aware of our presence already.
So, yes, I suppose.
Okay, but only if you promise to put all of the little appetizers in your pockets and bring them back.
I think you have the most pockets, Gibbs.
Right, but I also now have a lot of mouths to feed.
Understood.
Thank you.
How much does Hoagie eat?
Now, like twice what he used to eat, which was already impressive.
Shade is getting a migraine. It's 8 a.m. and Shade is getting
This is how I'm yes-anding your request not to bring them.
No problem. Here is your new assignment.
Yeah. Stuff your pockets.
Stuff your pockets.
So
Stealthily.
you get this little side quest added to your heads-up display.
It's like, how do I do that while also maintaining a cool and casual profile in front of high-level diplomats?
So,
Just turn your head to the side and put it
I'm
this way, and then
interested
put it in your
take
hood.
on the politics of Mars.
Excuse me for a moment.
Shrimp,
I had
the
something in
shrimp
my
is
throat.
delightful.
Takes a tray.
Yeah.
You just have every conversation while just holding food.
I like how I don't need to. I'll just give you guys everyday mundane tasks, and then you'll make it harder for each other.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Fantastic.
Anyways,
It's like Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah, kind of. Except I don't. It's like the writers are like,
D&D.
but just let them figure it out. They can. You know,
We don't
give them a
even need
budget,
to
they'll
give
figure it
them
out.
fucking pranks and shit. They'll just do it to each other. Fuck it.
So no problem. You have this conversation. It is again right around like 10:30 in the morning. What are you all doing with this day? You have a whole day in front of you.
What time is this?
The future.
the party.
Parties
I
at
deserve that.
6.
I deserve
Parties at
that.
You
6.
see on the invitation, it is a 6:30 p.m. start time. There is a cocktail hour, and then 7:30 p.m. there is going to be dinner served.
And there's a social, or sorry, there's dress code?
There is not a dress code.
Just show up either in a robe or armor, I guess. Yeah, Echo would probably look to see what services are available, if there's anything new, whatever that sweatish massage is.
Yeah, sure, no problem. There's nothing new. Excuse me. Give me 1 second here. Let me just make sure I'm not lying to you. There is nothing new. That you do see that there is a coming soon message up on the Elysium Spa Resort, and it seems that a relatively famous chef is being flown in, likely for this social event. It is an individual named Archimede Rollingreed. It's a Brenere chef who is like pretty well regarded. They have a pretty large infosphere following, but primarily they have opened up a successful chain of, despite the fact that nobody has tires anymore, Michelin stars, weirdly enough, really important in the future. And so still, that single Michelin star holding a lot of importance across the galaxy.
Damn tire tycoons.
Yeah, they really held it down. Boston still doesn't have Michelin stars.
God,
It's rough. It's rough out here.
Boston still exists, but it doesn't have Michelin stars.
It's pretty much the same.
Anyways, You do see that. You look across the website and you do see that you can go ahead and get the much spoken about Swedish massage. In order to do that, it's only there are 30 and 60-minute increments available. It's billed as a gentle, relaxing massage using like personalized masseuses to improve circulation and ease muscle tension. Today, after being in the Radiance Hot Springs, you are expecting to feel a lot more soreness because your tendons are new. You had them wholesale replaced within your legs, and that, in real world, like human terms,
I'm not
is
moving.
more than a year of recovery. We're talking about 18 months on a lower scale.
Yeah.
And that's if you recover. Here today, you get up, you stretch, and you feel sore in the way that you might feel if you're sleeping on a strange bed. It's not bad. You feel like, you might have like a little bit of a dehydration thing going on,
You just stretch the old hammies.
but you feel pretty good. All the same, it wouldn't hurt to get a few of those kinks worked out.
A few of those kinks added in.
Echo's seen humans do this. Echo's gonna go outside and go for a run.
Okay.
It's gotta keep him limber.
So,
I love how your solution to overexertion is.
I'm
more
not
exertion.
overexerted.
as you run,
I'm apparently just sore.
how fast are you running? Because now, when Echo runs, there are like physics considerations to
Yeah.
what that means.
Yeah. Echo's gonna like go outside. They've seen like some stretching occur, so they do like a little bit of that. And then they're just going to, they're going to attempt a jog. Yeah.
I'm going to attempt a jog. Like, I have killed dinosaurs and I have flown starships into people, but I'm going to try to jog. I'm going to hope that works out for me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is a thing.
For fun.
Yeah.
In Fallout, we call this a difficulty 0 check. Could you make a athletics check?
To see if my legs fall off.
No.
Only if you get a nat 1.
I know, right?
It's a 32.
Okay, with a 32, you have the sort of wisdom to keep this under control in like an unfamiliar environment that also like you're not really sure who is around. The Elysium Spawn Resort, far from being the only sort of structure here, you don't go as fast as you possibly could.
No, it's a jog.
You really go for a jog. That's still really fast. It's still fast enough that as you like run, there is a noticeable wind that is left in your wake, and as you like take that first lap and you come back around, you note that like where you traverse across, these small bits of detritus and stone that have fallen away where the sort of water runs, all of those have just been shoved off into corners and like away. The path is much cleaner the second time that you run it.
Nice.
Can you roll a D100, please?
The
Nice.
planet is tilting slower on its orbit.
Yeah.
Because
You
you're
could
just-
Oh, Superman
I
2!
was gonna say I'm running the wrong direction.
Spice
for the
starting to
orbit.
walk backwards, and you can see the director of the entire hotel starts to talk backwards.
Echo just slaps the hand down. No. That's Kara slapping the hand down. 18.
18.
Gotta have low rolls
Echo
sometime.
could do it.
With an 18, you take this run early in the morning. You don't think too much about the routes that you might take or where you might go. You just run, and it's a nice run.
Oh, nice run.
No problem.
Damn.
Gibbs, while Echo goes out for a run, are you doing anything?
Yeah, I got 2 to-dos.
Okay.
One was I want to take out bounties on Rose and Dust.
Okay, already done.
Cool, and
You
they're
took out
approved.
incremental bounties. You sent them over to
Peep, probably.
yeah, okay, so to Peep for approval.
Yeah.
And how much money are you looking to put ultimately on these bounties?
So I want them alive only.
You specified alive, and then incremental increases for information, for
Oh,
things
nice,
like
nice,
that.
nice. 200,000 each. One's invest space though.
So Gibbs, for you, you make that request, and at 8:31 in the morning, you hear your communicator start to go off, and you can see it's Peep. You pick it up. There is this like cascade of Gibbs, stop, and like people shoving you because in this nest there's like 7 other.
Why is your phone so bright?
They're just like shoving you away. So you like crawl out of the nest and you go in the bathroom and you shut the door. So in this hot spring, you have this call with Peep, your boss, and Peep says, "Gibbs, there's a mistake. There's a request here for 400,000 credits."
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, how much was the bounties we brought in?
So we're still calculating that, but it doesn't look like very much. Mosaic Team 1 made it seem like you may have brought in several tens of millions. But from what I can count, it seems like approximately 1 million.
Right. But I paid off my debt once, and so I've proven I can. Is there not a line of credit that could be extended to me?
Oh, you want to take this out personally?
Yeah. Can I use my wages to pay for it, like, in the future? How does that work? I didn't take out my debt originally, but
So this
it
white
seems like it's an
Yusoki
easy
who
thing.
was talking to you goes, okay, well, what I would really recommend before you get involved in this
Mm-hmm.
is talk to Echo. They probably have the clearest idea about the direction that this might go. And I'm not supposed to tell you not to do this, but I would really think about it,
How could I pay for this otherwise?
with money.
But okay, I only have 52 credits, and no one's gonna do anything for 52 credits.
Right, and so sometimes, Gibbs, you can't afford things.
Right, but I didn't get anything from the last bounty. I didn't take a cut. All I got was a 500 credit yoga class.
Well, Gibbs, there was almost 80 million credits worth of bounties. That was the last bounties.
Mm-hmm.
Your cut of 0 is 0.
There's 80 million credits worth of bounties.
There were at least 82 million worth, that
Right, but
knew
we
about.
brought some people in, didn't we? Didn't we achieve anything?
As far as I know, Gibbs, you haven't brought a single person back. Mosaic Team 1 brought somebody back.
Right, because we're letting them enjoy the spa first.
What? Who do you have?
Well, just
This
like,
is good news. I
my-
thought that this was just like a whole white, but if you have at least, I mean, who did you get?
Well, but I'm not gonna turn my cousins in. So
Which Mountie was your cousin?
I don't know. I assume they had some. They were on a prison barge.
You can see Peep in the background of this holographic display, like pulls up his data pad and he looks through and he goes,
Okay, so
as far as I know, they don't have any bounty.
maybe
They don't count for anything, Gibbs. They count for a lot. Don't get me wrong. They're your family. They're important. They don't count in terms of any. That was not a very successful mission.
Okay, maybe this is a bad time to tell you that I'm a bounty hunter, and I don't know that I get how bounties work. So how much would you suggest that I pay for these people? And, because, like, for me, I feel like they're worth $1 gazillion, but what would be the going rate for this? One's in Vest Space, and one's in unknown land, probably in Retrope's basement.
Okay. This is what I'm going to do, Gibbs.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and I'm going to use my new status as a senior mission coordinator to see if maybe we can redirect one of the other Mosaic teams.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that Mosaic Team 2 finished their mission yesterday.
Yeah.
So maybe they can go and figure out what's going on with Rose Lashwind. And who is the other one?
Dust?
Dust. Okay, that wasn't a typo.
No, he's my cousin.
Your another cousin. Okay.
Yeah. He looks kind of like me.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, last I saw, he was really skinny.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I'll see what they can do and I'll let you know.
Great.
But that's too much money.
Okay, I'll go talk to Echo about how much money is the right amount of money. And I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thanks.
Peep out. And
Bye.
terminates the communication.
I sent a text to Echo.
Okay.
How much money would you put on Rose Lashwind and Dust? And how do I get exactly that much amount money? Dollars, please.
credits.
You
Credits?
get all those messages, and then a final one for credits. As Gibbs tries their best to be a succinct typer.
Echo shares a location ping. This is too much.
Yeah, no problem. Lots of messages. You have the open comm. You can see as like you're all talking, Gibbs is like also typing to you, and these messages keep coming up. So it's a lot. No problem.
Some hot spring places have like individual tubs that are like side by side.
Mhm.
The Viagra tubs?
Kind of like the Viagra tub.
Yeah.
I think okay, Cialis. Those are Cialis commercials.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Should be a
But
sponsor.
could be.
Yeah.
No. And sends a ping for there.
Cool.
So you go to the side-by-side tubs that exist in this place.
I gently drape my paw just so close to your hand that is maybe there. And I wait for us to hold hands in our side-by-side tub.
The lighting gets kind of lower, and like a gentleman leans in, and he says, "Do you have trouble planning, friend?"
Is there a screen with a field that we are just...
We are the commercial.
Suddenly there's like a boom guy, there's a guy with a camera. But no, you can go and find the place with the side-by-side baths. There's like 8 of them. Yeah, no problem.
I text Shade, you coming? And then I text you a picture of me in a bathtub. You up? It's 11 a.m., man.
Where's the...
The ping, I dropped the thing.
Did you drop the ping with the picture too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in the group
How
text.
far is it from my room?
Nothing
Or, like
super
roughly
far.
where?
You know,
Okay,
yeah.
because I'm taking Squeak out, but I'm trying to like piece things together and
You could get a floaty for Squeak.
I was gonna say, is there a dog sized tub?
So you take Squeak out first for just like a morning walk.
yeah.
You don't see Echo on their jog. Echo leaves and comes back in the time that it takes you to put shoes on.
I don't
So,
put shoes
like-
on. I got my metal feet.
Yeah, Echo's that fast. As you wake up and you swing your legs out, Echo has left, and as your feet hit the ground, Echo's like sitting down in their room. Echo is real fast. But you wake up, you bring Squeak out. Can you roll a D100, please?
Roll a D100 to see if Echo gives you a nice light breeze as you pass the door.
67.
Yeah, really like the nuance of those mechanics. In the distant shade, as you're walking, you can see off and in the direction of the landing pads that you had all arrived in. There's a number of them, and in one of the ones that you did not arrive in, you can see that there is a ship that has come. It is light blue in color. You can see much of the paint kind of scraped away in the most recent travel, perhaps. And there are people kind of alighting from this, but from this distance, you would need to get a little bit closer to kind of see more about them.
I would get closer to make a perception check.
Okay, make a perception check.
Oh, damn, that would have been cool if that had not landed on my keyboard. That's not as cool. 25.
Okay. With a 25, it's hard, even at the distance that you can get kind of close to, where the road sort of goes, and then you can see like it branches down, and the rock of the place gets very steep and forms almost like a cliffside. Then the landing pad is maybe 80 to 90 feet below. And so it's a little bit of a distance. It's dark here. There is no real like natural light. It's all artificial and from the lanterns that are behind you and from the lights that are around the pad. But in the headlights from the sort of limousine that is waiting for all of them, very similar to the hover limo that all of you took, you can see for just a moment a suitcase flashes across. And there is a familiar sigil of an H that is just attached to the front
Harbinger.
as it just across the light. And you see it get loaded into the car, a few individuals. You see like likely humans, but certainly humanoid, many of them, although at least one of them almost certainly some sort of a coral or plant-based creature, perhaps. They're much more spindly than most humans. Make their way in. You can see these like stalk-like appendages coming out of their back and rising over their
Have
shoulders
we
a little
seen
bit.
creatures like that before?
Like a flat intelligence
I
check.
feel like we did see one similar to this that was kind of, you had described them like rose, but more aquatic plant-like.
There's 3 species in my brain in Starfinder that are very similar, in their sort of overall like vibe, but not their mechanics or design. Welcome, Deb.
Flat intelligence, 15.
15. Okay. With a 15, you think back, and in fact, maybe it's the fact that you just saw the Harbinger Robotics logo, but it reminds you of long ago in the original job that you had worked for Harbinger Robotics. One of your contacts early on that had briefed you on the information regarding the mission was a Kaiser named Thinmixto, who looked very similar in like the profile and shape, a little smaller, and they were serving far out in like sort of the middle of the Milky Way, but probably the same species. This is a Kaiser.
Okay, cool. Well, now Shade knows what they're doing for this afternoon, trying to figure out who these folks are and get some info on what they're here for.
Okay.
What they're involved with the USR for.
Okay.
So you're not coming to the bathtub time?
I mean, I can do both.
Oh yeah, you can Google and then just don't drop your phone.
Well, they're going to be on the
Have
premises.
you never Googled in the tub? It's great.
They're going to be on the premises for the whole day. I can just get close enough to them and like hack their comms if I need to. Try stuff like that.
Shade has Google Glass.
So eventually,
Goggle glass.
Goggle
Yeah.
glass. The three of you, it would really be Jacinto glass. The three of you would make your way to this string of tubs. You find it at a time where luckily they're all open and available and clean, and so easy enough for all of you to arrive there. Bubbles, it is the morning after your previous adventures. You wake up. Hisoka, just kind of hanging out in the room. They seem pretty quiet. You see that you have a number of missed messages as you wake up a little later than the rest. The rest of your party talking about the... Let's see, what did you guys talk about?
The
Not 10
social
seconds ago.
dinner.
Oh yeah, there is an invitation at your room. You see Ahsoka points it out. It is a social that is being held for new guests that are arriving. There is a celebrity chef who is being flown in to join this. Everybody spoke on the phone, and they spoke about the fact that for Gibbs's particular individual folks, there couldn't be quite an elaborate bounty put out the same way that the Gibbs had desired, but perhaps Mosaic Team 2 would make their way out there. Was there anything that you wanted to do in the morning, Bubbles?
Well, Bubs will take his 2 showers.
Okay.
First shower is the pre-shower.
Yeah. No. You
Pre-shower shower.
if
You
you
gotta shower before your
if
shower,
you don't
otherwise the
pre-shower.
shower is not gonna be clean.
No, that's gross.
Gross. You gotta let the water run before too.
Then he's gonna take some deep breaths.
Pre-shower.
He's gonna look in the mirror, try to center himself. He just kind of had like a spa day that wasn't really relaxing at all.
Mhm.
But he realizes that he doesn't have so much time to do it, so it's not a great centering. So he basically kind of just goes finds where everyone else is,
Okay.
and he feels a little bit off, but
No
We're
problem.
all lined up in individual bathtubs.
Yeah, you get to
I'm
the group.
I'm not in the bathtub.
Shade is not in the
Walking over with
bathtub.
Squeak.
Echo, are you in the
Yeah,
bathtub?
Squeak.
Echo
I'm not in the bathtub.
suggested this spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Echo and Gibbs both in these
I
bathtubs.
got
You can
shit
see
to do.
Almost touching hands.
Shade is there.
Echo heard there were individual salt baths, and they're like, I don't know what that is. Try it out.
Squeak paws up, kind of sniffing the water, and seems interested in being in. But yeah, you can get in
what
if
are
you want.
What are you guys doing?
Well, I was gonna ask Echo some questions. But she wanted to be in separate tubs.
It is a little awkward if you are just going to stand there and watch us in the bathtub.
You have to get into a bathtub.
I
Or
do not
leave.
plan to stay long.
Why not?
There are things that I need to do.
You could potentially at least sit in the bathtub and not make the rest of us feel weird.
Arf! And you can see Squeak paws both up on the side.
Squeak
They're
can
turning.
pop
They're
in.
looking at you.
Yeah, Squeak can pop in.
Oh, they definitely could.
Squeak, I give him the go ahead.
You can see they just look at you, tongue out, and then again just. Arf!
Fucking get in the fucking
Yay!
Squeak arf, runs, does a circle around the tub, and then little Corky pop right in the bathtub as well.
I don't really find this like super weird, but like, I mean, I just took like 2 showers. I'm gonna have to shower after this, but I think this is nice. I think we need some time as a team to actually relax.
Can both of you come a little bit more this way? Mostly down.
I have surmised that the point of a hot spring resort is to take as many showers and baths as you possibly can.
Look how wrinkly I'm getting.
Like,
Yeah.
passively all the time.
Yeah.
I attempted a jog this morning and then received a mildly distressing notice from Gibbs. Gibbs, why do you need so much money?
Well, okay, I want to take out a bounty on... Well, I was going to take it out on Rose and Dust, but it sounds like Peep is going to send Team 2 to check if Rose is still okay or not. I feel kind of bad that we, like, asked her to come all the way out there, and then we kind of, like, ditched her in Vesk's space.
We did pay
She
her 1
signed up
million
for that.
credits.
Right, but not for her to die or, like, be...
She knew what she was getting into.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to rescue her. We've rescued people who've done dumber things and accept money from
I
us.
have been working on it.
Really?
I alerted her presence to the USR.
Did they get back to you?
It was over encrypted channels. They would not try to get back to me.
Well, how are you going to follow up on if they found her? She hasn't reached out to us. She hasn't responded to any of my memes lately.
She knew what she was getting into.
But you must feel a little bit bad if you reached out to the USR.
Feeling bad and not being able to do more are separate things.
But I'm trying to find a way to do more. Why is that bad?
I'm not saying that it's bad. I have other priorities that take a higher order.
Right, so I'm just asking for advice. If advice is too much for you to offer and your time too much, that's fine.
My advice, in order to attract a bounty to enter Vesk space, you will need to do many more bounties prior.
You mean, no, I'm taking out a bounty. I'm paying
We do
for a
not
bounty.
have the funds. In order to get the funds, you will need to work.
Bubbles, did you take Ahsoka with you?
I don't think I said I did, so
Okay.
no.
We just left him behind in the room, no worries.
But I was able to get it because Peep's going to look into it anyways. So now I'm more wondering is how much should I put on Dust? Because otherwise I don't know what number I'm supposed to be working for. I mean, I know that the number that's associated is with the risk, but these are both people that I think want to come home.
Don't
And
you
so-
think everyone would want to come home in a situation like that?
Well, usually bounties are taken out on people who don't want to go where the government or the crime boss or whoever's taking the bounty on. It's not like lost children on milk. And so I'm trying to use a mechanic that maybe is not suited, but I can't think of a better way to do it.
Where was Dust last spotted?
Well, I haven't seen him since I left Petrus 4, but I knew he was alive because I sent him a nightmare once. Also,
did you-
not using the right mechanic to find him, but
Do you think he could be with Alma? Alchema?
or Rentropy. I mean, they seem to have a knack for stealing people that. I kind of thought we'd find him on this prison ship, and I'm really surprised we didn't.
Aklima Freshie works for Rentropy,
Yeah,
so one and the same.
but
How dangerous is Aklima, or Rentropy for that matter?
Aklima is a high-value individual within Rentropy. They have ties within the GPF and Dr. Maldros.
Does Aklima have any bounties on their person?
I don't know. I've never Googled it.
They don't,
Bubbles,
right?
you have the most accurate information on bounties.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the bounty board.
Make a cultures check.
Nice.
It's very heavy. There's a lot of rocks in there.
We were talking before the stream about how we wanted to make you. Is it a natural 20?
Yes.
Yes!
Make up for last week.
Yeah, it must be. 'Cause
4
last week
natural
was a
ones
bad
in a
one.
row. It's been building. It's charging.
I think me and Matt looked up the chances of that. It was like 1 in 8,000.
That's
was-
crazy.
Yeah, there were pretty weird.
Yeah, I don't
odds.
think I found anything about dust in a while.
With a natural 20, you go and you search, and there is no credit. There's no bounty for Aklama Freshi. You do see, like, there's, all kinds of stuff happening within the bounty world. You see there's an individual named Shugashani Warini, who was apprehended alive after a protracted siege of an Anubis Dynamics dealership. There was a high-speed chase that happened, and this is one that actually happened with Rose Lashwin prior to her working for you.
Yep, I remember that
So,
one.
like, this is broken across the news now, and it's, like, kind of blowing up. And with this, you can see there's a lot of news that is really, like, asking, where is Rose Lashwin? Where is this person who, is doing all this stuff?
Nice.
They've done no interviews. They haven't talked about anything. So there are people that are looking for Rose, for what it's worth.
Yay.
I couldn't find anything on Alchema, but I mean, hey, look at this, and I'll like holographic display my comms to like show everyone. It looks like Rose Lashwin is the talk of the town. Everyone on the infosphere is talking about them.
Nice.
It seems like no one knows where they are.
Not no one.
Well, we can tell people, right? Is it... Mosaic Team 1's already claimed the fame for what was done there. So would it be so bad if Mosaic Corp... And I'll talk to whoever the head of our social media is, but couldn't we just say we know where she was and
I would
look
be
in this
concerned about outing a friend's location anywhere in the Vescarium.
Agreed. Alerting anyone to the fact that we were in Vesk space on a mission that we were not known to be on, to the public, would not be beneficial.
Won't the Vesk figure it out when Mosaic Team 1 turns in the bounty of their captain of the ship that they had?
Not necessarily. Rose Lashwind is not a member of Mosaic Team 1. And if we were to say that Rose Lashwind was last seen in Vescarium space, if she has made enemies of anyone in the Vesk, it would be like lighting a beacon.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And affiliating with us would also increase her risk, given that we were actively involved in the recent raid.
Right, but that only applies if she's hiding and not currently captured by the Vesk. And they're the Vesk cruiser that was right there on our tail before we popped into the drift, and she didn't make it in time.
Might I
I'm
make
aware
a
of these
suggestion?
things.
Could there not be a bounty for information?
For Rose?
Yes. Or for Aklama Freshi, or, by extension, Dust. Aklama Freshi might interest more parties than a simple Yusoki.
Well, right, and they have some ties to the Vesk War, I think. And Rentropy's got a lot of sketchy stuff going on with the last war and how they're stepping up now.
Enemies might be more inclined to give information about Aklama Freshi and her known associates. After all, information is also a popular commodity.
That makes sense.
So I should look for the fish I'm looking for by looking in the pond of the fish that I'm looking for.
You would need to find the pond first, but yes.
Right. I don't know if Dust is in this pond, but I guess I haven't dug deep enough to find a different pond to
Oh no.
fish from.
The metaphors.
That sounds good. How much
You can check the menu to find which
how much you know, I've never really paid attention to how much we pay for bounties or how much we get paid for bounties.
You can have
Gibbs,
some of my
are you
credits.
aware that you are a bounty hunter?
Yeah, but like I've never done it for the money. It's just
Neither have I.
Why did you become a bounty hunter?
mostly because Mosaic said they'd feed me. I didn't know I had debt when I showed up. I don't even know who the debt was to. I assume some of the stuff I might have taken from the trash can wasn't free, but
That was because we destroyed El Paso
Echo's gonna
Station.
look up Gibbs' personnel file to see if, because there's a record of everyone's debt. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You can go, and you
It's
can
like
look
vandalism
up for
and shit.
well. So
Which we paid off, I'm pretty sure.
for what you can access in your position in the team,
Oh, I don't have a
Oh,
position.
it's fairly limited.
Here, you
Captain.
can use mine. I'm
I
the
mean,
medical
I know
officer.
all of it, right?
Huh?
I would have all of it, right?
No. So the person who actually has the most information is Gibbs.
Because medical
As the medical
officer.
officer, Gibbs has the sort of
But
like
that's medical records and stuff.
yeah, and then the rest of you, none of you like Nazma does all of like the personnel stuff. So none of you really
But as
have
captain,
access.
don't you get like personnel files on your crew?
Not for this. No.
Wait, but
You're not a hiring manager. You're like being captain is sort of
But still, you're like people
it's like being
manager.
so in Mosaic, being captain is like being the office fire safety manager.
Yeah.
like
You're the
you-
shift lead.
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even more than the shift lead, you're like
I'm
the
assistant
senior
to the
shift lead. You're like you have like extra status, but it doesn't really translate to anything
Yeah,
except
I
for within the
noticed.
culture, except for within the culture of the team. And
Who doesn't
unfortunately,
respect
your
you.
team,
I respect.
Fucking
the culture
pieces
is
of
not a
shit.
strong one.
Bunch of
Echo's
fucking
essentially a
assholes.
volunteer because Echo doesn't have a job title.
Yeah, it's. You guys have done a lot of work.
Fastidious.
You have put a
Fastestness.
surprising amount of work into giving yourselves titles, but very little work in actually like divvying up structure or like.
Hey, every time someone
Shade
complains
tries.
to me, I do
No, I
But
know.
no one fucking listens,
No,
so
I know,
it's
it's
a
great.
it's a fucking.
Echo just like looks up and is like,
vacation's not fun.
I don't have access to the information about who held your debt.
I mean, I really don't think it was anything malicious. I really don't think it was very much. And yeah, most of it was accrued by being on the job. And so all I'm saying is if I could accrue debt by being on the job unintentionally, that, I don't know, taking out a bounty for something. And I felt a little bad when I was criticizing the spa place about not rescuing the director of security.
Gibbs,
So,
are you suggesting that you would like to take out... You would like to take out a line of credit against yourself?
against future labors, like advanced payments.
That is a debt.
Yeah, but every one of us has it, and it's been fine so far.
I'm debt free.
Well, now you are, and now I am. So
Gibbs,
I know.
I would not advise that.
Okay,
You have the ability to decide where you would like to go without any recourse.
so next bounty, can I get an actual fifth of it?
Every time I have allotted an equal amount for each of us.
Mm-hmm.
I have also put aside some for a team fund. I have put the majority of my personal funds into that team fund as well.
Mm-hmm.
We would need to actually turn the bounty in.
Yeah, didn't realize that we...
It's
All of
not
our
a game of
resources
hide
went
and
to
seek.
saving your
Gibbs has
funds.
been a bounty hunter for like half a year now.
I don't think I've turned in a single bounty. I don't think I've contributed at
Gibbs,
all.
You very specifically
Like, don't.
try to not.
Yeah,
turn
I'm like
bounties
super
in.
detrimental to it.
Gibbs, you can have some of my bounty claim. Honestly, I used to just give it all to. Well, no, I can just give you some of it.
So I have 52 credits.
That is not enough for a bounty.
But it's been fine because Mosaic will pay for things. But when I asked for them to pay for this thing, they said no, and so then that's why we're having this whole conversation.
That's because the amount of resources that you're asking for are astronomical for something that has very little consequence to anyone outside of you.
Gibbs,
But the reason I work is to pay for things that have extreme amounts of consequence for me personally.
And so you need to continue to work because you do not have enough money.
So all I'm asking for is the next time we get paid, before it goes to anyone else, it should just go to each person individually.
That is how I do it every single time.
You bring up a good point,
It
though, Gibbs.
is. We just haven't turned any bounties in.
I believe that you assume the worst of me in most situations like that.
No, I don't. I know that you're careful and thoughtful.
Wait, so, Gibbs, I think you bring up a good point. About,
For all of you, you see on your communicators, Peep is hailing all of you.
okay.
Peep.
Okay. You Peep to see Peep.
All in the bathtubs.
Yeah.
We put him up on the big screen that is like currently a field with a single tree, and it like
Yeah, sure, no
sunset.
problem. You can push it over
We're all
there.
holding hands.
There is like an
Yay!
actual like you shouldn't be able to do that, but with a shade with the exocortex, effortless. You
There's
just
like a
toss it
random
over
guest
there.
down the line that's just like, what?
This is the perfect.
Excuse me, this is a work conference
But
call.
suddenly across the entire.
Can we have the
so
room? Can we have
this
the
is-
room?
It's actually like so. It's like 8 tubs in a line that is basically a hallway that is off a main corridor, and so people are every now and then walking by.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna make that public.
But
I
you
am.
see just this huge screen, and it's Peep, and then it's still just coming off your communicator, so it's not especially loud.
Nice.
But Peep just goes, I'm sorry, is this a bad time?
No, it's a great time.
Come on in, Gibbs. Peep, the water's warm.
Bubbles.
This is very strange.
We're relaxing.
Would you prefer audio only?
No, I just want, this is for you, Gibbs. I just actually wanted to let you know I got approval to put some of the interns on researching these people and trying to figure out if we can bring them home. So, Scott Dragonfist, he is going to be the captain of Team 4 once it eventually gets out of its sort of, reset program status. And they're going to be leading the charge. There's a Skittermander named Oshana who's there, and a couple other people, but they're going to be doing this. One of the Echo units that you sent a resume for would be able to join this mission as well, as long as they can get to the Vivarium.
Echo 47.
547, yes.
547, yeah.
They should already be there.
You can see Peep says it might be. I've been kind of busy. There's a whole bunch of new stuff that's coming in. We're trying to rebuild some of the Vivarium because I guess Gibbs is probably going to send people over to us, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, like 15.
Yeah, that's more than I was
Just kidding.
expecting.
It's only like 6.
Okay, that's
I
more
forget how
in the
many it
realm
is.
of what I was thinking. That we should have space for about 10 more people. And we have a little bit of a better accommodation, more permanently suited, we think, for Bubbles' sibling.
Oh, that's great.
Just to allow for a little bit less, breathing fluid. But yeah, I'll check, and then they can join this program, and they can help with this mission. So rest assured, we'll find Rose and we'll find Dust.
I really appreciate your problem-solving candor.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are really part of the reason I got to be a senior mission coordinator. So without all of you, I couldn't have done this.
You deserve to be a senior director mission coordinator.
That's not a job position here. After being a senior mission coordinator, really, I would probably want to be the chief diplomat or chief senior mission coordinator, which is,
Okay, add like 5 more titles to that, and that's what you deserve to be, because you're the best. Thanks, Pete.
Oh man, I bet you'd be at like a new office and everything.
Ooh.
He says, well, I mean, after the senior mission coordinator, I would need to be the chief of mission control. Then after that, I would be the director of operations. And after that, I would probably be the assistant to director, to the overall director. And then maybe I could be that
You're the
kind
president of my
position.
heart.
That's not even really a position here, but I appreciate the sentiment, Gibbs.
You're welcome.
Peep's joy is corporate structure.
There's a lot of corporate structure. I wrote a lot of it. For
And
this.
send my thank yous also to Scott Dragonfist and the Echo and that other intern person whose name I forgot.
Yeah, all those people. I think there's a Kasatha
Shanna.
too. But no, I'll pass your regards along to the team. I'll let you know if they find anything. But in the meantime, is there anything else? I heard from Maxwell that all of you are going to Mars next.
That's correct.
I haven't gotten a ton of details. I guess you guys are already taking care of it.
The sprawl of Aphrodite.
What can I do to help?
Supplies will be most needed, as
Yeah.
well as contact for Team 2. Apologies, Captain. Vacation has gotten the better of me.
It suits you. I like it.
Echo is right. Additionally, when we arrive, there is a chance that we will need to go undercover to some degree. Given our track record, it would be better to have some plan ahead of time.
Okay, well, I know Mosaic Team 2, before they finished their last mission, they were kind of setting things up for all of you. So you should have the groundwork laid at least a little bit. But what kind of things do you want? Actually, one sec. And you can see he pulls up this little data pad and kind of scrolls through stuff. And he says, okay, so they've actually already gotten some stuff set up for you. They have some accommodations set up for you. Actually, you said you wanted a cover. This is perfect. They managed to get you a condo, and it's above a working laundromat that comes with the actual condo. So, I mean, that's just a cover built in right there. It's on Curie Avenue, and it's here. And a little message pops up on your communicator. It's a little pin that you can see exactly where in Aphrodite this place is.
And so we're staying in T-Town.
This is in T-Town.
Okay.
This is on the upper sprawl, I believe. And you can see that this is located above. The pin itself is on a laundromat called Stellar Neighborhood Suds. You can see it is between two different sort of businesses. One is a fried chicken place called Martian Marty's Chicken. And there is a liquor store called Ember Ave Spirits on the other side.
Oh, that's so exciting. I've always wanted to, like, see how, like, a laundromat works. I mean, I know we're just going to be above it, but, like, that, I mean, it's cool.
Well, no, the laundromat's part of the lease, so we technically have possession of the laundromat. Really, the instructions say you just go and get any credit coins, but almost nobody uses them anymore. So it's just kind of replacing supplies and making sure it stays clean, which I'm sure will be okay for all of you.
Oh, I can keep it clean.
Yeah, no, I kind of figured this is sort of your thing.
You could live your dream.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my dream or anything.
Oh, guys, it looks like actually Mosaic Team 2 has even gotten you some contacts for supplies, too. There's a pawn shop that they made a connection with who will be very discreet, and apparently beyond just, like, regular goods, can also get you some other things. The pawn shop itself is called Knuckles and Nickels, but the person that you want to talk to is a guy named Harvey, I guess, there. And he has some special deals that he'll be able to offer just all of you.
And that's in the Radium Spite.
The pawn shop itself is in T-Town, yeah.
Okay.
I overheard Spice muttering about wanting some ship guns, as well as an advanced medical kit, and something about a wheel.
Ship guns, an advanced medical kit. I'm sure you can get an advanced medical kit from that pawn shop guy. A wheel. Like a tire?
Something that she paid 800 credits for.
Oh, cute.
Like a fancy cheese?
I guess.
Oh, well, okay. You can see you just like type some stuff in. But noted, wheel. You ask about a starship cannon. And he says, well, I mean, Mars is famous for having the Ares complex. And I'm sure that you'll be able to grab whatever you need there. You've made friends in the USR, so you should have no problem getting an introduction. And they make some of the most dangerous weapons in the entire USR.
Interesting.
You know the USR is a Navy base on Mars, right? So
Yeah, they have a hazardous waste site in the Sprawl District.
Do we foresee any
Yeah, probably a
adversarial
lot.
interactions with the USR's Navy base?
No.
you should all have them as sort of an ally now.
We could assist them even further. I'm sure they'd be happy to get rid of the android separatists that are took over their water waste treatment plant thing.
I'm just gonna give side eyes and look over.
You can see Peep goes, wow, Gibbs, you know a lot about Mars.
Somebody, the dog told me.
Make a deception check.
The dog told me.
I mean, kind of.
You look down and like somehow one of you point your communicator down so that Squeak is on the call.
I mean,
and
Squeak's in my lap, so like,
Squeak just looks up and just
Diplomacy?
But you're in a
Said-
tub.
No,
It's a
there's
assault
no
map.
deception.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, bluff. Oh, that's not bad. 17 plus 7 is 24.
24. He says, oh, I can't remember all your cousins off the top of my head, but I hope Dog is doing well.
Thank you.
That's
When you get to Mars, maybe you'll be able to say hi. But, yeah, you probably could help them out. I don't know anything about android separatists. I can look and see if there's any sort of USR sort of bounties or open jobs that are available.
Does Peep know why we're going there? No, right?
Doesn't seem like it.
Can I?
Make a sense motive.
Yeah. I want to. If I say something, am I going to put my foot in my mouth? 30. Flat, 30 flat.
So Peep doesn't seem to know a whole lot about this. He was told that you're all going to Mars.
Yeah.
He said that you guys seem to be handling the accommodations and everything. He knows that Team 2 laid this down. He doesn't seem like super surprised or like upset by this.
Yeah.
So as best you can tell, this seems to be maybe something that like it is coming from higher up within the organization for sure. Whether this is good or bad, I guess with that insight check, given everything that you know, given what you know about the director, you get the sense that the director, and you just heard Peep go off on the whole corporate structure, and one thing that did catch your mind is the very top level of that corporate architecture is just simply called the director.
We've been flying with our boss.
It strikes you
Yeah.
that the director is likely the boss of Mosaic LLC.
Right.
Mosaic being the maintenance of service artificial intelligence code. Mosaic LLC probably followed that.
This
Yeah.
is
The
most
director
clear
built
manifest
Mosaic
of- yeah.
to be able to do everything that it is doing right now.
Gibbs' eyes just get really wide like dinner plates as she's starting to put the pieces together because she's slow and everyone else is probably already there.
Gibbs got out the red string in the tub.
Yeah.
She goes and smokes an entire pack of cigarettes.
All these people already knew it. Yeah, if you could just tell us the biggest thorn in the USR side, I think in the Sprawl district, that would be helpful.
What was the question? Sorry.
So Peep was going to look up some bounties for us, and so I think it would be helpful if we knew who the USR thinks is the most painful person in that area.
Okay.
We might be able to find out some information similar to that tonight.
Yeah.
So Peep looks and says, yeah, there's not a whole lot on the public kind of channels and everything like that. I don't see anything that Mosaic Team 2 marked. They marked that there is a whole bunch of kind of like gang activity that's happening down in the actual Sprawl. But aside from that, and I'm sure the USR would be happy if you were able to help with that. There's plenty of crime in Aphrodite.
Hey, Pete, just a quick question. Did you pick that location of the laundromat for any reason?
I didn't pick it. Mosaic Team 2 did. They have, I'm sure, certain instructions, like it needs to be under a certain price point. And probably, you know, there's like whole things about, did you know humans used to put lead in paint? And so sometimes you have to check older buildings for stuff like that. I don't know if you have to do it on Mars. I don't know how far back it went. But like humans do. I mean, not to generalize.
Oh, no, I have like a whole cleaning list. It's apparently they stopped using it in 1987.
Yeah, so that's really specific. And that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you probably won't have any problem with lead. But, you know, microplastics, I heard those are pretty rough on Mars.
I'm a little bit more worried about the highly irradiated grossness there. Oh, and the acid rain. I mean, anything for those problems.
Yeah, so
because lead takes like forever, right?
Part of the supplies that we're going to make sure that you have access to are some of the suits that people wear in some of the districts in Mars.
Nice.
There are toxic storms that radiate through, and if you're outside when those happen, they can peel your skin right off your bones. So you want to be kind of careful about that. They have all kinds of warnings and things like that, but there are some districts that you probably shouldn't go to.
What about radiation badges?
Radiation badges
those,
are good just as a starting point, but if you go to places like the radium spite, it's even a radiation badge isn't going to help you out too much there. I mean, there was a Vesk nuke that was dropped, and so the radiation kind of emanating from there is toxic to everybody.
All right. Well, I think we'll kind of figure some more stuff out as we get closer. But thank you so much, Peep.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are you got this job, and it seems like it's really important. I don't even really know much about it, so they must really want to keep it a secret, whatever it is.
Do you have any idea what our job is after this one?
No idea. There's no real details coming through. It took a long time to lay the groundwork for this. So whatever it is, I'll start hearing about probably in the next couple of weeks. I'll tell you if I hear it.
Okay.
Pete, there are a number of corporations who have their headquarters in areas within the Sprawl.
Yeah.
Can you look into those for us?
Within the Sprawl or within Aphrodite?
Within Aphrodite.
Oh, yeah, sure. You can see he pulls up his tablet. Jacinto Pharmaceuticals, Harbinger Robotics, the General Products Company, Abadar Corporation has its headquarters. All of those are in the Inner Crown District alone. There's this big like prototype nanite dome that Jacinto developed. It's sort of dangerous and was really controversial to put up, but it's supposed to keep the whole district safe. I know that Kartovsky Investments has an office in the financial hub. That's kind of a pretty major headquarters. The USR's Reserve Bank on Mars is in the financial hub. The largest condominium owner, Tyrant Estates, is actually in Upper Aphrodite. I mean, what kind of businesses in particular? Royal Springs bottled water. Have you ever had their bottled water?
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's the best bottled water.
I mean, I can't taste it, but like the logo on it, it makes you think it's really clean. 'Cause
It's
it has
so
a glacier
distilled.
on it.
I heard there isn't even one hydrogen. Like, I just heard. Never mind. The point is, it's really good water. Their headquarters is also in the Sapphire
Keeps the hydro
Tiara.
homie.
Peepa's a big fan of water. You know, Mars University, obviously, everybody's heard of Mars University. They're renowned for a lot of their sort of, you know, sports, but also some of their more surgical elective sort of things. There's you know, the Jacinto Gene Therapy Clinic is pretty well renowned. There is the Technical University of Mars. There is
Wait, go back to that one about gene therapy.
what, the Jacinto Gene Therapy Clinic?
Yeah.
Are they a competitor of Rentropy, or is Rentropy a subsidiary?
Well, they're both kind of operate in different localities,
Okay.
but they both do very different things, I would say. Jacinto does most things, but Rentropy, as far as I know, are a recycling company. It's pretty
That does
specialized.
gene therapy.
They do gene therapy?
Yeah, they do.
I'd never heard about that.
They do.
Wouldn't they be more of like a competitor to the place we went to on not Dorado? What was the Skittermander's homeworld?
Vesk 3. Oh,
Not the Skitterman, the Chevron homeworld. It begins
Oh.
with D.
No, isn't that Dorado?
that's Dorado.
Is
Yeah.
it Dorado?
Yeah, that's Dorado.
The corporation was called. I'm trying to find it. I have it here.
Well, I just saw my notes on Dorado.
Harbinger?
No,
Harbinger had their
Dorado.
manufacturing plants there,
I have it right here.
and they had the GPF military base.
Oh, I didn't write anything useful in this bounty.
He says technically the Waymart headquarters is there. I don't know how important that is. And that's kind of all the big corporations that I can find.
If you could find anything about the current activities of Jacinto and Harbinger in particular,
Yeah, that'll take a little longer, but I'll see what I can do.
I believe that's fine.
Okay. Anything else?
Should we tell USR we're going? You're gonna tell USR we're going?
I can if you want.
I mean, do you want? You're their friend. I mean, mostly.
We can make contact once we have established ourselves in Aphrodite.
Makes sense. So never mind. Don't tell them.
Okay. If you need anything else, just let me know. But otherwise, peep out.
Bye,
It's a
love you.
Communication. You are all now in the baths by yourself. The serene video of the tree and the skyscape behind it just returns.
I'm gonna get up.
Okay.
I'm gonna go start doing work.
Okay.
See you at the party tonight.
I'll like go back, and if you're going to stay here for a while, do you mind taking care of Squeak?
Sure. I'll help him out. Do you want more bubbles, Squeak, or less bubbles?
Oh,
Salt.
Mine's on bubble bath setting because I'm farting. I don't know. It's the Shrek opening sequence for me.
for Gibbs,
The
like,
salt's
Gibbs's
starting to become
bath,
slushy.
it does
from,
have
like,
like it has the
liquid.
bubble bath, but the one that you see in like a hot tub from a very greasy person getting in is just like bio foam that is emerging out.
Gibbs
There's
also
nothing-
very wrinkly.
Yeah, there's
and you can see
nothing
all her
like-
It's like
skin.
Epsom
Good
salt
about that.
mixed
Yeah.
with fucking.
I feel so hydrated.
It's not great for all of you, but for you, Gibbs, it's fantastic.
My skin's never felt so nice.
You're really evening out the filth.
It's got a nice coating.
So you can all spend, you know, half an hour kind of soaking in this bath, which brings you to right around afternoon. Echo, if you want to go off and get a massage, you can.
Echo's
You
gonna get
can-
their Swedish massage.
Is there anything that you guys want to do before this dinner happens in the evening.
I want to try to find those people and figure out what they're doing.
Okay, make a perception check.
Nice.
And also, if I see the director of Elysium,
Okay.
if I see them, then I'll
Apologize.
consider,
Formal
trying
apology.
to, yeah.
Sorry, we brought the Antichrist.
What am I even rolling for?
Sorry, we offended
I
your
don't
very
even
being.
What was I rolling?
Perception check.
Oh, that's a 32.
Okay. With the 32, as you leave the tubs, and you take a little bit more time to walk the halls and like look for some sign of these people, you see mostly guests that you've seen before until closer to like 2 or 3 in the afternoon when you see a limo pull up. And in this limo, walking out, you can see a number of individuals.
Is it the same limo that I saw at the...
It's the same
Limo.
kind. It would be hard at that range to like be like for sure that's the one. They all look kind of similar, but as they get out, you see people who look similar. You actually see stepping out first a Kaiser. You see these big appendages, and so very similar.
The same coloration?
Same kind of coloration, like pale blue to green. You can see they are wearing a sharp black suit that has a little pin on the lapel that has the Harbinger Robotics logo on it. You can see they are handed some suitcases, one of which does have the Harbinger Robotics logo, and they are attended to by a very stressed out looking human who is holding a little data pad and like rushing around. They are wearing a sweater vest and like white button down shirt. And then you see another human gets out. They are not wearing the Harbinger clothing. This is an individual who is actually wearing a very nice, like Jacinto branded, almost like a, it's like a button-up shirt, but there is like a nice like shoulder pad to it. It has like some fashion elements, and still there's this like Jacinto logo on it. You do see that there seems to be a Codicus staff underneath the Jacinto logo. And then there is a Lashunta who gets out, and another human being who gets out, and then that is kind of the group. Most of them wearing Harbinger Robotics sort of pins. You can see one of the attendants goes out, helps with some of the suitcases, and as a group, they quietly make their way in and sort of off. They don't have to check in. You see they immediately make their way down and into the hallway towards some of the rooms that are empty.
I'm gonna kind of like casually but go and like,
Casually but go.
you know, I want to like stroll the grounds, but I'm trying to figure out what rooms they're in so that like when they leave the rooms, if they leave like the suitcases behind, I can try to figure out what is their, why is there suddenly this active presence? What are they here for? Especially given what we know about Harbinger's involvement with, well, Harbinger, now seeing Jacinto and Harbinger together kind of confirms some things for me.
Sure.
So, kind of following that to figure out what is it here that they are working together on, because there's a good chance that it's tied into some of the stuff that we've been digging up within, us delving into
We also
the
know
world.
that Bora
of-
Paingrift also arrived and is GPF
Yeah.
high executive.
Yes.
Right. So, no, and that's kind of the thing too,
Yeah.
because Harbinger and GPF have been involved with each other.
Yeah.
Jacinto has been involved with pretty much every side, and so,
You
well,
didn't tell any of us that Bora is here, right?
No, I don't think he did.
I think only Spice.
No,
No,
Shade.
it's-
Only Shade.
Oh,
knew.
Only Shade knew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shade saw him.
Shade was trying to.
That who is here?
Bora.
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 Paingift. Which
I-
no one put.
I thought you said Vloraz, and I was like, that's news to
I
me.
tried to, but no one listened.
Yeah, you like tried to like do like a follow thing, and then I think comedy insert with the hot spring adventure.
Well, yeah, and so it was something that was like, okay, I guess people will just have to hope that no one runs into this person, particularly the GPF defector.
Hater.
Right, but continue. You were you wanted to do
sorry.
these things.
Yeah, so knowing that Harbinger and GPF have been actively involved with the overarching slow Cold War for like
Resources?
like resource
And
Yeah.
Cold War,
hiring
I
more
Hoarding.
guess, and
bounties.
yeah,
Under
like knowing
Benito.
sort of how the corporations have been essentially being contracted out or contracting out to these multiple factions within this ongoing Cold War. Jacinto and Harbinger are now in a room or in rooms together, getting out of vehicles together. A high member of the GPF is here. That can't be coincidental. On top of the fact that the USR are having this, what was it? Social guest
Summit.
social.
Yeah.
That happened before I came here.
Well, so
that was the
again,
party we were invited to.
Okay.
it is a USR government liner.
Right.
Many people take those.
Right.
And so this isn't necessarily a USR government endeavor.
Right. But I guess like
The oligarchs are here.
yeah, it just feels like there's a convergence of like lots of high level people within GPF and
Sure.
corporate sides.
And they know
Regardless of whether or not there's a USR involvement on it, that's enough to be
Sure.
like, okay, there's got to be something going on, at least information-wise, that we can probably get from these folks.
So all of the Harbinger Robotics folks takes rooms 2, 3, and 6. The lone Jacinto representative is going into room 9. And so all on the first floor, this incoming group.
Okay. And then I guess I'll just kind of... Are there security cameras in the hallway?
With your perception check, as you look around, you don't notice any security cameras here in the halls of the sort of like residential rooms. You had seen one out in like the lobby, the entranceway.
I want to implant Ghost into that camera to see when they're coming and going from their room, so that we can kind of monitor that, so that if there's a time where there's a chance of like computer infiltration,
Okay. Make a computers check.
then I would want to do that. I think this just happens, but
No.
that's
Reading it. And technically, cybernetics you see
30.
installed in a creature.
it's
see.
into. Sorry, I don't know.
I
if
think you're
it's
level up
implant
as you do it
glitches.
besides
I can hack into things.
Yeah, I don't
with
think it's
my,
implant ghost. I think it's
It's with wireless hack.
Okay.
You
I think
can
you're level.
access another computer. Where is it? It's is it remote hack? I don't know which one it is, but it's
Let me know which one it is. Take some time to figure out what that is.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The letters we got.
Yeah.
Were they addressed to like Gibbs?
No, they were in like 2 under the room. So each
Okay.
one, like, though they look very nice, they
Yeah.
were definitely mass produced.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
Echo.
Echo, once like the team has dispersed both physically and mentally,
Okay.
Echo will also mentally disperse. And while they're getting their Swedish massage,
Yeah.
they are going to contact the Echo group.
Nice.
So you
And
send
then-
out a sort of mental communication
Okay, boy,
connecting
you
to the
up.
rest of the Echo network.
Second one today.
And you could see very quickly there's just the chorus of pings and responses. And this network is attentive to like what you want and what you need.
Aww.
Echo would ask for, first of all, status update. How's everyone doing? And then go into like the businessy side of things with the android separatists on Mars.
Nice.
The general vibe, because Echo hasn't been involved in that section, if anyone has. If anyone knows anyone involved there. And if they're like buddies or if we should steer clear.
Okay. So no check required. The work that you've done on behalf of this group of Echo units has implanted you as not just a member, but really like a leader. And so there's never a check that you need to make for this. They'll tell you what you know, and then if you want to redirect their efforts more concretely on this, roll a d6.
5. Nice.
Not really.
Oh.
But it will take a little longer probably to get more concrete information. Off the top of their head, though, they do tell you that the android separatist movement is called the Edict of Junk. And this is
We're sisters.
This is a group of androids who live like an almost Amish sort of existence. There is a belief that there can be no control over technology, and as a result, like using more advanced technology is really kind of like akin to enslavement. And so there is this, it's like a very radical group. That being said, they're not harmful. This is a relatively peaceful group, if a little bit fiercely insular. They're not fans of biological creatures, and so none are allowed to kind of habitate the area that they've separated off. Some of the Echo units would tell you that the leader of this group is an individual who is was called, whose original designation was the Primary Education Machine 101, or PEM. And I would say just make a cultures check on behalf of one of these Echoes. You can add 4 to that check.
In addition to my culture score?
In addition to your culture score, yeah.
Because it's a group effort. It's a team project.
Yeah.
That's me.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just got my feet up.
19 plus 12.
32.
31.
31.
The 31, they would tell you that the Primary Education Machine was constructed by a organization called Gen Machina Corporation. They produced roughly 30% of the population of what is now called the Edict of Junk. So many of their androids have joined this sort of movement, likely because of the Primary Education Machine. And they'll tell you with the 31 rather, that this individual is a very hesitant leader. They request to not be the leader of the Edict of Junk every year. And every year, there is really like a movement within this organization to keep them as the leader. Aside from them, there are other important people. There is actually a very unusual android that is designed in the style of a Yosoki. It is called Nefi. The official designation with the 31, you would know, is now Yosoki Forever Yosoki. It is a one-off that was created to extend the lifespan of its original creator.
It's pronounced Ni-Fi.
It's Nefi for this one. And they're also important in the runnings of this operation. They exist within the confines of the Hazardous Waste Treatment Facility number 27. That is where they have kind of like staked out their claim. They don't really allow other people inside, but they're largely peaceful.
You guys are gonna join it. Break it down from the inside.
Echo thanks them all and then does not recommend the green nutrient cubes if they get near the printer.
Okay, no problem. You recommend that. They all note that. You see like a little thumbs up emoji, almost like in unison. All of them agree to that, and no problem. They tell you that in about 5 days they'll get back to you with more information.
Bummer.
Anybody
Better than
else?
what it used to be.
Bubs wants to talk to the director.
Okay,
And now Bubs kind of has like a plan of what he wants to do.
sure.
He remembered seeing the director kind of stop and meticulously grind its wheels when Spice mentioned a dream of hers.
Sure.
When she mentioned that she wanted to open a tea shop, and Bubs was like really curious about that. And he's like also thinking about like the laundromat and just how coincidental that the laundromat was just all of a sudden on this mission, and how also all these things. And he's just gonna talk to the director and the aim of this is to kind of try to catch the director with some gear turning.
Sure.
So he's gonna start. Hey, director.
Go onto the ship. Very common.
I'm gone.
So you send this communication out. Instantly, it's picked up,
Okay.
and you can hear the director on the other end. And the director says, "Yes, Bubbles."
I was wondering if you could like do some like math for me.
Can you be a calculator?
There's silence
I
on the
believe
other
your
end.
comm can do that for
Well,
you.
it's
bud.
just like some really complex math, and it's just some stuff I was doing on Oris Bay, and I was wondering if you could just like help me with it.
Bubbles, I can assist you with any task, I assure you. What is your requirement?
Bubs is gonna just go on his comm real quick, and he's gonna look up like really like long math computations that
Okay.
like take a while, like they have been solved. But he's gonna just like just try to find them.
Count to the highest prime number.
So you're like, all right, director, you know the answer to like Euler's conundrum, right? And go ahead, make we'll call this a physical sciences check for how well you can kind of put something into.
17
Okay.
Nice.
plus 0.
Okay, it's the flat 17.
5 seconds pass.
You ask the director for like some calculations around like what if Aura's Bay was more like Earth? You're just interested in like, what if it had a moon, and what would that do to the tides and,
And he's
the barriers?
kind of timing these, and he's looking for pauses and
Yeah.
gear turning.
You ask a question that involves calculating the trajectories of multiple satellites across, it's a very complex problem. And very quickly, the director gives you a list of just like little bits of information. You see trajectories. It doesn't mean much to you at the 17. You asked a question that you can't comprehend the answer to, so no way to know if it's right or not. It looks right.
So Bubs is going to continue doing this. He's going to kind of like just write some timetables down of how long it takes for them to respond.
Sure.
And he's going to do it again, but this time he's going to, in the middle of when the computation is happening, he's going to just randomly interject, I always had a dream that I could, I don't know, find a place that's like an island that I could always live by myself, or maybe I could find a place that I could, maybe like a next bounty that had a tropical place.
So you say that in the middle of this computation as they're saying, like different numbers and equations. The equations don't break stride. You hear just continue speaking. And at the end, there is I would say, make a sense motive check.
Okay.
It's hard because you're trying to very subtly gauge the reactions of a machine that you cannot see.
Yeah.
And it's a machine.
And I've never been able to see it because it's a machine.
Yeah.
That's nice, Bubbles.
That is 10.
They end the equation and they say, will there be anything else, Bubbles?
No, that will be it. Do you think that our dreams will come true? The things that we wish for?
With that, there's a noticeable hesitation.
Okay.
And the director, after pausing for quite some time, says, this is a very hard question for me, Bubbles. I do not dream. I work for a singular purpose. But I have gotten to know all of you. And I will do what I can to make your dreams come true.
Okay. That's it, Director. Thank you for the help, my homework, and, the pep talk. I kind of needed it.
He's still
Bubbles,
taking classes on
you
Earth.
are aware that the Auras Bay class you were enrolled in, you were withdrawn from.
Yeah, but, one of my friends kind of still gives me the homework, and, I kind of want to keep up with it because, I committed to the work,
It's rebound, girlfriend.
It's Kevin.
Yeah, it's Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin's just like, here's some homework for you.
Hey, I noticed you weren't in class again. Oh.
Okay. The director doesn't say anything. You get the sense that, the director knows what communications are kind of incoming and outgoing across the ship, so you're not getting homework from anybody, and the director knows that, but they don't say anything.
Yeah.
You end the communication.
Liar,
No
Bubs.
problem.
He doesn't
Get off of me.
He doesn't know. I could have got the, like when you're homesick
Oh,
and
it's
then
paper.
and one of your friends brings it to you, like
They could have just shown up at the back door,
yeah.
With
Teacher,
your
teacher, you get homework.
checks, there's a lot that could be. And there's a lot of things that might happen or might have to do with why the director chooses to say nothing. You get the sense that the director chooses not to say something there.
Okay.
But the communication ends, and you are back within the hot springs. For all of you, anything else that you want to do before the dinner this evening?
Bubs is just he's just gonna be left in the water. He's still in the tub, I guess, with Gibbs.
And Squeak.
And Squeak. He's just looking at the water and just making bubbles himself with his hands, like doing one of these.
For bubbles, making bubbles. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. And he's just gonna think about the director and dreams coming true, and maybe the director's role in it.
Okay. You sit there in the hot water, thinking about the director, making bubbles, and hoping that those dreams might come true. They might. Who knows? In the galaxy, there have been many weird things that you have seen. You've fought yetis, you've freed ghosts, you've done all sorts of things.
It's whimsical, but it's also a little suspicion.
Sure. For the rest of you, anything before this dinner?
Gibbs is going to take Squeak, and we're going to go to salon
Okay.
and get a haircut.
So
And
you go to the salon.
I haven't. Gibbs
And
has it.
as you get to the salon,
Can I follow you?
Sure. I'll tell you. Oh, look how wrinkly I am. I got to get out of this
I'll
water.
follow Gibbs.
Do you, I want to get ready for this party. There's going to be some big wigs. Ooh, speaking of which, did you hear that the side quest of this event is I agreed not to bring any of my cousins as long as you fill your pockets with appetizers.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna be like that time, on Oars Bay where you had that gravy boat in your pocket and you were like just dripping everything, and I was just like, Gibbs, why did you bring the gravy boat? You're supposed to leave that at the table.
No, that was a gift.
Oh, no, Gibbs, it's a gift is like the chocolate they put on your pillow. You're like taking the remotes out of the batteries out of the remotes.
It's complimentary if it's not nailed down. It's not stealing if we're invited to the party and it's all you can eat.
at the end of this conversation, you're making your way to the cut and comb.
Bubs is trying to explain to Gibbs complimentary and
Etiquette.
just stealing.
Like trying to explain to your grandfather why you can't just empty the entire sugar packet organizer into a bag.
But Gibbs is like, they would go there anyways, and they're not, and so they deserve to eat the food because they already budgeted as if they would have gone, and so it's basically recycling.
The cost has already been absorbed.
Yeah.
These are incidental costs. Okay.
Exactly.
You can see this huge sort of wolf person, white fur. It is manicured and kept in dozens of small stylish braids. This is a Valaka named Urjani. You can see a little tag on their uniform, but they bend down, they look straight ahead so that they're kind of knee level with you, and they say, "Look at this radiant creature." And then from behind you, you hear, "Arf!" And Squeak bounds out, and you can see Urjani says, "Hello, Squeak. Oh, I'm so happy to see you again." And just scratches Squeak's head, and Squeak, "Arf!" And then you can see Urjani goes, "Oh, you need a haircut as well."
I want the same thing that you gave
see
Squeak.
Squeak just tongue out, wagging their tail real happily, little corgi butt going back and forth. You can see Urjani says, "Very wise of you. We can do that for you, no problem.
Thanks.
Come on, we've got a spot available for you right now."
And do you want your nails done?
Oh, I thought I was gonna be left out because I don't have any hair, but yeah.
No, sometimes they'll clean your ears or
Oh, I already cleaned them.
Okay. It's nice when other people clean
No
it.
one else cleans Bub's ears.
Anyways.
She turns to you, holding Squeak in one arm and like one hand on Gibbs' shoulder, kind of directing Gibbs over to one of the chairs. And they say to you, "Everybody has a little hair." And they get a little closer to
No, I
you.
have no hair.
And they get a little closer. They look, and then they kind of say, "Do you mind if I touch you?"
Well, I typically don't like people to your hands are very close. Okay, yeah. All right, you're touching
Grabs
me.
your head and like tilts your chin up, looks up your nose, looks in your
oh,
ears,
oh.
looking everywhere, and says, "I don't want to get too personal, but it seems like you have no hair. Very unusual. There are still things we can do to beautify you."
Oh, I thought I was already.
We can
Come.
make you
And they
extra
take
shiny.
you,
Oh,
and they
what?
just like plop you down in the chair next to Gibbs. And they spin both of you around to face the mirrors, and they say, "Now, let's make you as beautiful on the outside as you are on the inside.
Oh.
Anything for a
you're
friend
so
of
ugly.
Squeak." And then you see Squeak just "Arf!" down on the floor. And as you hear the "dv" and the "ch-ch" of these like scissors and the clippers begin, because it is 8:30, we're going to step away for a quick break. And when we come back, we will continue our session of Starfinder. So thank you for sticking with us for this session. Let us know how the sound and the video are, Talent. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. We will be back at the end of the countdown, which is just over there. We'll see you then. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, we're playing Starfinder, and now you are a part of it.
Sorry.
Sorry about
I
that.
knew I
It's
was.
just so out of pocket. I don't know. It's just like I want
Did you
some
just ask
daisy
for juice?
Yeah.
Just
We
like
got seltzer
out of the
here.
blue. Like
I'm,
okay.
I'm sorry. I only have delicious Topo
actually,
Chico, not
you
a
had that-
sponsor,
you had
but
that
absolutely
Gatorade.
could be.
That was I. They
You
have a
do
new
have
Gatorade
Gatorade.
flavor that
They've
I.
had
Just
chocolate.
cold
All right,
brew, not a
focusing up. We're
sponsor.
playing
You
Starfinder.
have good old-fashioned water like I grew up with.
Sorry, I got sidetracked from Dan's silly comment. And
Bubbles
the thing.
and Gibbs, the two of you are spun around in these barber chairs, and a quick montage later, Gibbs, for you, you have the carbon copy treatment that's gets you and this corgi matching glamorous fur.
Gives us
like,
the
flowing.
corgi butt.
Sure, you ask for a blowout on the fur around your booty, and no problem. Urjani says, "Yes, girl, I've got you."
I like to
Just
imagine for
brushes it
Bubs.
out.
Do you know when you go to a bowling alley and then some people have those two cloths and they
Oh,
move a bowling ball? Like,
1000%.
That's what they do for Bubs' head.
They have a drill that buffs
1000%.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You say that as a joke, but first, she comes out, she starts working on this, and she looks at you and she says, I've never seen a scalp so tough. I'll need more tools. And she goes in the back and pulls out an actual drill with the attachment, just like a buffing attachment, and actually down on you. The whole head shakes. But Gibbs, you can see your reflection on Bubbles' scalp and head. It is polished to a mirror finish. And it's actually in the light in the salon with the beaming LEDs. Kind of hard to look at Bubbles because it just gleams off of it.
Shine
Bubbles,
bright like a diamond.
for the next 24 hours, you imagine your head so waxed. Enemies trying to hit you are taking a -2 conditional modifier to ranged attacks. It's gleaming as long as you're in well-lit conditions.
I'm gonna use it for trick attacks.
Yeah, you just swing Bubbles.
Shine
at
a
somebody.
flashlight off his head.
But you look at yourself in the mirror. There's not a ton that has been done, but what has been done is just made what is you stand out in gleaming detail.
Bubs thinks for a second. He goes, "Oh my god, I'm gonna look so nice for," and then he just stops.
For yourself, right? Doesn't it feel good to feel nice on the outside
Are
sometimes?
you going to the dinner tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you'll look fantastic for that.
Yeah, for myself and for the dinner and it'll be fun. Yeah.
You seem a little bit more straight-laced, but I could do more makeup for you if you wish.
I don't. I mean, I don't.
I've got this. And they pull out, you can see this elaborate makeup kit. You can see on the outside of the case, Wheel. They open up the Wheel brand makeup kit, and just there is all kinds of elaborate, bright eyeshadow and things like that. And they say, we could really make you pop. You mostly wear neutral tones and have very neutral skin and neutral eyes, and not a lot of hair or features, but that is a beautiful canvas to work upon.
Yeah, I want to what did it say in your Cosmo magazine? Emphasize my flaws.
You, I would say, have very few flaws or features. We'll do something very nice for you. Do you have colors that you like?
I don't really know. I like all of them, I guess.
What
You
about
need
blue?
help making a choice. We've got tools for that. And she pulls up her communicator and pops over to an infosphere site. You can see 17. You're not really familiar with what this is, but she goes through all these quizzes, and you take a short quiz.
Yeah.
There's all these questions like, what is your favorite color of fruit, and things like that. And at the end, there is a result that is the primary color that she is going to work off of for your makeup. What color is that?
You're a winter.
Whatever color's the highest.
I like that you rolled a
Interesting
bunch
strategy.
of purple dice.
8 gold.
Okay.
Nice.
So you take all these quiz questions, you choose the brightest answers, the cleanest choices, the ones that are the simplest, but the most elegant, and you end up with gold. And with gold as a color, Urjani says, we will make you gleam. And over the course of the next half an hour, Bubbles, you've had disguises You've had all kinds of you've worn full gimp attire to a beach party that you told people was bounty hunter themed. And then you chose to come in that costume.
I love how it's cracking you up.
Because
we did that to cover up Spice's issue with
I know.
Diego.
But the fact that you guys spent a whole session and a half planning a party and then didn't follow any of your own advice. You were like, guys, come in bounty hunter attire. That way we can blend in. And then you came as bondage people.
Because every time I pick a costume, I have to go, well, I'll match with Spice. And then Spice picks like the most like ridiculous one. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck, I guess I have to match with Bondage Queen. I guess there's so much options for that.
Let it all out. Let it all out.
I mean,
It's
I was
over.
a
The
bush.
relationship is done.
But this is kind of the conversation that you're having with yourself in your brain as this happens, because in the mirror in front of you, Rajani is a master.
Bubs has never really dressed himself.
No, and
it shows.
in a very fierce way, there are elements. Have you ever seen 300?
Yes.
You know, like the Persian leader, like the really fierce
Xerxes.
makeup that he has, Xerxes. Like very similar to that. There's like a stencil that's used. So there are these like dark, stark, contrasting lines that form these like warrior patterns in your skin. You look almost like a gold and like a golden god of death. It's almost like a death mask, but very elegant as well. It's
High contour.
when you look at yourself in the mirror, it's almost frightening how like beautiful you look, and if you don't smile or anything, it's like statuesque.
Handsome Bubs.
Bubs is
Yeah.
Bubs got that new haircut energy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So he's going to pull out his comm. He's gonna take a selfie. And he'll probably like do it near like a window or something to show like the nice background of like the Elysium, kind of like
Yeah,
he doesn't
no
wanna show that he's
shortage
in a
of nice
spot.
backgrounds here. Yeah.
Yeah, just like out a window, like kind of like this, like, and then he's going to send it to Tifi.
Okay. No problem. Go ahead and for me, make a diplomacy check. And take a +8 conditional modifier.
Oh, damn.
Good. Let's see it.
Oh, that's good. That's 17.
Okay.
17 plus 11 is
Bubs
28
still is
plus 8 is 36.
36.
Okay.
And he saved fucking Tifi's
That's
life.
true. He also, yeah.
So she might have, and she was unconscious, so maybe she dreamed about Bubs when I saved her. I don't know. Guys, there's some craziness happening.
I love how you we don't talk to her for 2 months, and then this is your first.
Hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
Hi, girl.
Hi, I'm a god
It
now.
wasn't 2 months. It was like a month.
It's fine, a month.
You up?
So you send this message.
Yeah, and
No
the message is
problem.
gonna be like a picture, and she's like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Sorry, I dropped off the face of the galaxy. What have you been up to?
Okay, no problem. You send that message, and you remember it's been now at this point 2.5 months
Ah,
since
fuck.
we last talked to this individual.
I was right.
So it's been just a second, but no problem. You send that message.
And I'll send a less cuter version to Kevin as well.
Okay.
Just being like, hey, Kevin.
So
Hey,
first,
Kev.
very quickly, you
Can
get
you
a
send me
message
homework?
back from Tifi.
And Kevin will be an apology list, but I'll do that after.
Okay, so you see Tifi sends you a message back, and it says, "Wow, I never would have imagined you in something like that. You look really good."
Oh, yeah.
She says, "We're in summer break right now. I'm not doing anything
I'm at
as
the
fancy as
Elysium.
you, but we're at the beach." And then there's another message that comes up, and you can see Tifi, pink cotton candy pink hair, in these kind of braids. She is wearing this bikini with a puffy top and this matching puffy set of bottoms. You can see she is at this beach and seems to be drinking out of this cup. She's on Aura's Bay. Make a perception check as you look at this photo.
First of
No
all,
shit's going
no one tell Olive. Okay, we're all making a pact.
She's watching the stream.
Oh, that's a 17 again!
In the recap too.
With that perception check, you look at this photo.
Plus 17.
You look at this photo. It's not a modest photo, and so for sure you get the sense that Tifi is
Flirting.
is flirting a little bit. But beyond that, you also know, kind of squinting at the photo beyond TV, in the background, in the sky, you do see a couple of these dark objects that seem to form like this line, and you recognize, similar to Petrus, this is a line of Rentropy satellites that you can see even from the ground, off in the distance, just these little dark motes that almost look like kind of specks on the camera. But you just barely notice them because Tiffy is right here and really taking up the vast majority of your attention.
Bubs catalogs that, and
For the archive.
yeah, for the archives. And Bubs thinks he's just gonna send a message being like, might be coming your way soon. Maybe we should meet up soon. Or meet up.
You send that message, and almost immediately one comes back, and she says, I would love that. Maybe we can go to the amusement park down by the beach?
Oh no, that's Spice's me spot. Yeah, that would be fun. See you then.
No problem. You say that. Are you sending a message to Kevin
Oh
as
yeah,
well?
fuck. Okay, yeah. Just be like an apologetic message of being like, oh hey Kevin, sorry, I had to jump off of, the galaxy. Had some relationship issues. Cause I'm hoping he spreads the word that I'm single now.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow, this is
This is-
nuanced.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
manipulative.
You're not actually
Okay.
apologizing.
Well, I mean, Kevin.
I learned it from you, Spice.
Kevin is friends with the kid who wore the hair over his eyes, who was like, "Is that a gimp suit?" And Bubba's like, "No, he's not."
Talking about Wallace.
How did you
yeah,
even
Kevin knows
fucking
Wallace.
remember?
Yeah, Wallace.
Sheepy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's formative for
no
Bubs.
problem.
yeah.
You do that. And now, as all of this, are you doing this, remind me, as Daniel Danielson? Or are you doing this as Bubbles?
Daniel Danielson, because I believe the cover is still intact.
As far, well, for some people, yes, as far as you know.
You told fucking Kevin, you were like, I'm sorry, Kevin. Yeah, we're bounty hunters.
Yeah, but I didn't tell him my
He
real
was like,
name.
that's
No, you
sick.
didn't.
No, I say
no
Daniel
problem.
Danielson.
You send Kevin this apology, and no diplomacy check required there. You get very quickly this message back, and you can almost read it in Kevin's voice, where Kevin just goes, "You wait 2 months and then you give me that?
Oh, no.
You're not a real friend,
Oh
Bubbles.
no!
Or Daniel." Do you respond?
In 2 months.
I'm just gonna let it stew.
Bubs is going to he's gonna do that thing where like you type text and then backspace, and he's gonna just do it like a bunch to show that he really like is thinking about the message, but he's just this is a trick that Spice taught him. And then he's gonna say,
Sociopath.
"Why are you learning from Spice?" He's gonna say, "Yeah, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just drop you like that. I've been going through a really tough time. And I know you were, going through school and you're living your best life. I wish I was you sometimes, but I just wanted to reach out because, I care about you. And I'm kind of lonely. I know that's weird to say, but it's been tough for me lately."
Okay. Almost immediately, you get a message back that says, "Recipient of this message not available."
He blocked you.
And you get the sense that you've been blocked.
Okay, well now I gotta go to
You
Earth.
type this whole message out and not a bit of it read.
Bubs,
You did all that little typing for the bubbles. They probably never saw them.
Bubs' like confidence of new haircut is just gone.
shattered. You're just a man in some makeup. But you see your Johnny just scratching Squeak, and you feel very good about your new look.
And I'm clean.
You
also.
are very clean. You are poofy. You have the same accessory that Squeak has.
Nice. Which is a bow?
I believe it's a bandana.
Ooh, a bandana.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you can make your way out. Now, is there anything else anybody wants to do before this dinner?
I would like to contact Natilda Summit.
Sure.
So I'm going to go back to, I guess, my room and contact Natilda Summit. The corporate spy that we freed from the Vesk prison barge. And I'm gonna ask her what she's got for jobs on the horizon. See what she's up to.
So you give her a call.
Because last I heard, she might even still be on the fucking planet.
And only a couple of rings go by, and she picks up, and the connection of the signal, you can see her on video, would indicate that she would need to be very close by. It's pretty clean. But you can see the face of this individual appears. Natilda Summit, very kind of mild looking, although you would note they have changed their appearance a little bit since even you last saw them just about 16 hours ago. You can see the hair is kind of swept back. It actually looks a lot more like Spice that had their hair worn. They are wearing a black, almost like business suit, but they are currently like kind of moving around and looking through. You see, make a engineering check. But they answer this communication and they say, I didn't think I would be hearing from you so soon. Is everything okay?
Yes.
And you see she's just like moving things around. What was that check?
It's like a 30-something, 38?
Even without knowing from the little nuts and bolts and the sort of fixtures of this, you would know from the color of the blue paint that's reflected off the edge of the windowsill here, this is the USR liner 455. This is baby blue. You can see she is currently going through and like looking through all the overhead compartments. But she looks back down at you and she says, is everything okay?
I see you've made it to the Little Blue.
Yes, I'm heading to Mars.
As a matter of fact, we are attending a social gathering on the ship. Perhaps we could discuss things further there.
There must be some misunderstanding. We'll be taking off within the hour. There's no social gathering aboard this ship.
It's in the resort.
It's in the resort? Oh, fuck! You look down at the invitation and your heart goes cold. You're like, oh, fuck. Oh, this is awkward.
Well, then
For
I guess,
people from the ship.
Well, we'll be heading to Mars shortly after. There's a potential for work there if you're interested.
You can see she stops looking through the overhead compartments and she says, any more details on this work?
It would involve headquarters of high-profile organizations.
You're interested in Jacinto?
Among others.
If you can provide 100,000 credits in retainer fees, I can hold off on booking another client.
How much do I have? 100,000 is not enough. I would hope that, given our assistance in getting you out of the Vesk prison, you would be able to do some of the work pro bono. The payment would be information for yourself to then use, however you see fit, as long as you share it with me.
I'll still work for you pro bono, but while I wait for you to come to Mars, I won't be working. That is what you're paying for. My services are quite expensive.
What you do in your free time is not of my concern. This does not matter to me.
Very well. Then if I'm still on Mars when you arrive, I will help you free of charge.
Thank you.
Terminates the communication.
She does her best to leave Mars.
You get the sense that there's a very low chance that she is going to be on Mars now.
No. Yeah.
She literally gets off Little Blue and was like, "Where's the nearest shuttle to literally anywhere else?"
Yeah.
Blew that contact.
Well,
Made
no, I still have the contact for now. I hope I didn't get blocked.
This message recipient is not available.
I send a little bit of a message and then erase it. So it looks like I'm sending a message, and then I just send another one that says, "I hope to see you at the sprawl." Winky face.
You're like, you know what? It's what everybody else has been doing. Maybe
Yeah.
it'll just be part of
Maybe
the team strategy.
blocked.
Love you, babe.
Yeah. Okay, bye. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.
She terminates the communication. Presumably, you do none of that. And unless you do, what about the bossy?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
But then we've already talked to Mezzo. She's on board. She's coming with us.
Yep.
So I guess that's.
Everyone has a place, right?
There was one
So
other
these are
thing that
good.
Shade wanted to do. The ship that had also left the Vesk prison barge that I spotted.
Yep.
Could I try to find a way, knowing that I also saw it where we encountered Dotson, using that waypoint, see, given that I know the make and model of the ship,
Mm-hmm.
what ships match that make and model from transponders that have passed through there, given the time frame, to see if I could try to pinpoint where that ship has gone since,
Likely not.
or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bit that requires a system of communication that is not directly accessible through
Mhm.
the infosphere.
Okay.
That's more specialized access.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go find Squeak.
Okay, no problem. You follow the general sense of like beauty, and eventually you make your way to a place
Where's my
where
sweet boy? Where's my
Squeak
sweet
is
boy?
actually like the second most beautiful amongst the individuals. You see, really, it's Bubbles
I'm gonna
who
block my.
like polished to a mirror finish, and then Squeak and Gibbs kind of equal levels of cuteness.
Look, we
over here.
twinned. Look at my butt.
Very similar. Squeak spins around. Arf!
Arf!
Yeah.
You all look very presentable.
We're ready for this party.
Hey, Captain.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm excited for the party. Yeah.
You look good.
Thank you. It's new bubs.
That is the same Bubs that has always been there.
Yeah.
There's a little spit shine. I like it.
Yeah. I think it's nice for change. You know.
You look good.
Thank you.
Are you making your way over to this party?
Is it time for the party?
If you want, do you have anything else you want to do before?
Well, where's-
later.
Echo like walks by the group completely and just like thinks Shade is like
Slurping
having a
slurping on
discussion with some
slushy,
other
just
guests,
like-
and then it's just like,
Hi.
Hey.
You like my bandana? You noticed. It's roses. I was thinking of Rose Lashwind.
it will be difficult to find you.
Give it.
Yeah, I know it'll be difficult to find me because I look so different.
Echo can't tell if they need to turn their eyes up or if they need to turn their eyes down, because either which way they do, they're just getting glare because their eyes are lights.
It's either reflecting off like the gold elements of the paint, or if you turn it down a little bit, then the black sort of swallows it up. It's it's not great for android eyes, but you imagine from a species that sees primarily in black and white, this is fantastic.
Bubbles,
Yeah.
you are. And they go through like a list of like synonyms in their, whatever positronic brain,
Sure.
before arriving at radiant.
Oh, yeah, you like it?
It is bright.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought I'd try something new.
We should be prepared. Although this is vacation, there are potentially high-level individuals at this social gathering.
Echo is just wearing like the standard like armor that they have, and then they just like program the glamour projector to be at Tux. It's like,
The two extremes of the spectrum.
is this accurate?
It's pretty swanky.
I-
Hey,
Robe.
What's
To
the
the
guy's
robe.
name? Urge?
You think you could do like just
Rajani.
maybe tuxedo top and then just jumpsuit bottom or vice versa, but maybe just robe would be okay.
Well, because you're gonna...
Urjani, have you done a lot of these socials before? Is this a common thing?
You kind of backtrack a little bit over to Arjani, who turns around. They're like cleaning up after doing all the stuff. Bubs's chair, no hair clippings or anything there.
Yeah.
I'm still sweeping the floor, and she turns and she says, "Yes, we have them every time there's some sort of dignitary or large group that comes in.
And the dress code is normally...
There isn't a dress code. You should wear what makes you comfortable. Many guests go in robes, but because of the intoxicants, I would recommend choosing something that will go with your poison of choice."
Robe.
Is there a specific dignitary, or really this is just the big
Standard
group?
issue, Mosaic
And I'm fishing for more
I
information.
won't really say.
Oh, please.
Make a diplomacy check.
Nice. Gibbs puts on the puppy dog eyes and
Can
then
Squeak-
nudges
can
Squeak
I-
to do the same.
It
Can I
really
give
works
Squeak a
now.
look to, like, assist.
Sure. Take a +6 conditional modifier as you go, please, and then Squeak just sits right next to you and goes, "Oh."
25.
Is that with the +6?
You can see
Yes.
Urjani looks at you, looks at Shade, looks at Echo, says, "Could you give us a moment, please?
With Squeak.
Step
Just
out.
Yeah, with Gibbs and Squeak.
with just the three of us." Pulls you and Squeak into a
I
huddle.
turn on the telepathic whatever so everyone hears it.
Okay, and she says, "Now this is just between us furred folk, but there's all sorts of hot gossip happening. There's a trio of Belida, and they're all breeding together repeatedly again and again, they say. They'll be there. I don't think they're the dignitaries, though, but just something weird.
I love weird.
If you love weird, you'll love that there's a phantomite. They're going to be there with all the pierced skull ridges and things like that, and they're important in their culture. I don't know if that's what you mean. They're a bridger. And then there's a whole bunch of Harbinger robotics people who came in. And there's the executives, people like that. Let's see.
I think this is an orgy.
Are there pineapples?
He says,
Pineapples everywhere?
Hang on, I have so many documents open.
So many pineapples.
So many.
Oh, people don't
Is
do
this
drugs
the
at
company
orgies.
orgy? The executive
There's a
fucking
city
drug
councilor
field
from
sex orgy?
Castrovel,
Uh,
from the Labu Mesa that's going to be there. There is a elite hazardous environment wayfinder scout in Uplifted Bear, if you can believe that. And they're going to be here. They've won many medals and things of that nature. But those are the big ones, I would say.
wow, thank you so much. This is really helpful. I guess I'll just put on my clean vest.
Yes, I think a clean vest would be fantastic, and you can store some more of the treats that they have available.
Oh my god, you read my mind.
No, says nobody ever thinks to just take the things on the tables, but you can.
I like make sure that beam's extra loud into everyone's brain.
She says, just make sure you don't take anything from Dr. Serpay. You should ask before taking anything, and ask about the side effects. She doesn't always tell you.
Alright. Your wisdom, so appreciated.
I would say don't do the mega opiates. The transdimensional pesh, though, pretty good.
You You're murdering Olive from afar.
A list of things that Olive will do.
Right. Thank you so much. That was super duper helpful. I did recon for the mission. Gibbs walks away. Kiss
Make
Viger.
your way away. Squeak just licks Arjani's hand and then makes his way back to you.
Nice.
Bubbles is going to, feeling self-conscious, he's going to glimmer project less shine.
Okay. You debuff a little bit.
Yeah.
You make your way back out and into the main hallway. There are people kind of coming here and there. You actually see the aforementioned sort of centipede creatures, all three of them, skittering their way down. You can see one of them a little bit larger and likely like brooding actual eggs. They're not, it's not an orgy because they're egg-laying species. But making
But
your
birds
way
can't have
off-
urges?
No, it's an orgy because they're
Orgies.
all fucking.
Yeah, if you don't fuck, you can't really have an orgy. Well, I guess.
Oh, because they lay
Not
an
if you
egg and
don't have
that's- all right.
catering.
Yeah, I think
If
catering.
it's catered, then you can still have an orgy and only do like finger stuff.
That's true. Finger foods.
Yeah,
Finger foods and finger fucking.
it's in the rules.
We have a Patreon.
Finger fucking chicken.
Anyways, you make your way over.
Echo.
Why have you dimmed your shine?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's stupid.
It would make a good distraction.
It wasn't stupid.
Mm.
You looked good.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good for like, when I like have like, the haircut and I was having done, but like, I don't know. I think it feels like false confidence.
Do you ask me to go slower?
No.
Do what makes you feel comfortable.
And Bubs he'll glare project a little bit more shine,
Yay.
but it'll be a healthy medium.
Okay. So you go, you take the transparency slider, and you make it a little bit less transparent.
Diamond, sapphire.
I like that.
You can see
Good math.
this Lashunta is kind of standing in the middle of the hallway. Cool tone, darker skin. You saw her before. Raven black hair. You can see almost like these LED ruby eyes. Excuse me.
It's a pizza.
It's the Topo Chico, really.
Mm.
Not a
I drink
sponsor.
quite a lot of it. Not a sponsor.
Should be
but
a
really
sponsor.
should be. Topo
Really
Chico.
tasty. If you want.
Topo Chico, come at me.
If you want to zoom in?
You see
in
just some if like some random executive from Topo Chico wants to zoom in, that would be so funny to me. Like it's such the barriers to getting technology into like that format are pretty high. But if Topo Chico wants to talk about it, I don't care who it is at Topo Chico. It could be like your groundskeeper. It could be, your Saturday security guard. If somebody at Topo Chico wants to play, you are invited.
This is some
1000%.
Patreon content right here.
Yeah, I not a sponsor, but I really like Topo Chico. You see, this is an individual who you've heard referred to as Lazale Arani. This is a greeter. And she is currently holding all of these like extra robes in case people come in attire that they are uncomfortable in. Those of you who do wear robes feel very comfortable in this attire. But you see beyond, there are these like tables that have been laid out. People are like drinking. There's music that is being played. There is
Or
a
dwarves.
central.
Is there a bowl for room keys?
There's no. You see no pineapples. You see no bowl for keys.
Is there
You
plastic
don't see
sheeting
just
on the
big
ground?
tables full of lube or condoms. What you do see,
Baby oil.
This place is not well stocked at all. How are we gonna have the fucking orgy without
it
all the
feel
fucking
moist in the air?
supplies?
what
Does it feel moist in the air?
it does. You're in a hot spring,
Okay.
but likely again because of the hot spring, less because of the orgy. You look ahead.
Definitely walked into.
You look
Guys, it
ahead.
only takes 5 of us to start an orgy.
That's true. You guys are a walking orgy all the time. Oh man, I've lost control. So you do see none of that. You do see that there is a table that is attended by Dr. Serpe, whose long curly hair is no longer up in a baseball cap. It is worn down. She's a little bit more makeup. She's wearing a crisp white neoprene set of gloves along with the uniform. And in front of her is a table that does have some party favors. You see a big bowl that has gray and white pills. You see a big tray of syringes with a sparkling blue concoction in it. The syringe itself, the plunger, is shaped like silver wings coming off of it. You can see a golden green pill. This is on a little black tray. There is a warning that is like bright, even at a distance. You can read like it is dangerous. Gibbs, you key in on that being mega opiates. You've seen them before. You see a pink tablet that looks like it is designed to be like dissolved under the tongue. You can see there is a powder that is in these little tiny jars that is almost fuzzy looking. It looks like dandelion like seeds almost, and it kind of moves and shifts. But this seems to be just a table full of drugs. And then behind that, there is a full bar of like alcohols. And right now the doctor is mixing a cocktail for somebody. You do note, Shade, all of the people that you had seen get out of that sort of thing, that limousine here. Give me one second. Let me change the music to something a little bit I was going to do some smooth jazz.
It's more like a sophisticated.
I'll just put
this is a high class
bed
orgy.
springs.
Right, high class drug party.
Everyone's wearing masks. It's very high class.
There's red robes
Yes.
everywhere.
Oh, this is eyes wide
50
shut now.
shades of gray.
So
Also an orgy party.
Orgy parties.
That's why I said it. So you look ahead. You can see all these things. The attendant smiles to all of you and says, "Welcome to the dinner. Please keep your limitations in mind when imbibing substances and enjoy the food." She nods to all of you and then stops and just says, "Does anybody need a robe? Anything else before engaging with the other guests?"
Do we all have robes from our rooms?
Gibbs
Are
is
they-
wearing
are
a
they the
vest with
same kind
pockets.
of robe?
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah, Bubs.
But I feel like it gives it still appropriately dressed. It's
Yeah,
just
sure.
a vest.
Yeah.
Bubs, I think he'll have a robe on as well.
Okay, no problem. You're all berobed, and with your robes, you make your way in.
Bubs will also. Can I touch one of the party favors without like getting drugs in me?
Depends on the make a
touch
life
that pill
sciences
and it
check.
I just
You-
want to like
shoots
grab
into your
like
finger.
an umbrella to one of them, or like something that like isn't drugs, but like a.
make a life sciences check. You walk up, you look at this
Ooh,
table.
cocktail weenie.
That's a 4.
It's a 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing on this table that's drugs. You see all kinds of cool decorative things. What are you looking for?
Snacks.
Bubs, I don't think we'll just touch things willy nilly, but
Piece of candy.
he is looking for something to blend in because he's feeling self-conscious, so he's not gonna touch it.
No problem. You look around, you look at all this stuff, and as you kind of get closer to the table, you peer in and you do see behind the table itself, there are a few boxes that have not been set out of substances that are maybe either too extreme or too volatile, or maybe just not polite to have out on the table. One of these boxes has a darker box that is slightly ajar, and as you look at it, can you go ahead and make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Just looking at the drugs.
Jesus.
Oh shit!
You
Is
didn't even
it
need
a
to
bit of
touch
the
it.
yearning? Oh my
It's a
god, that's
7.
terrible.
What am I making? A perception?
Fortitude. Oh.
Fortitude?
This is a fortitude
Oh,
save,
that's
sorry.
perfect. 7 plus 12 is 19.
With the 19, that is a failure.
Oh, jeez.
As you look at the transdimensional Pesh, and this, through the channel of being seen by you and existing on that plane, is imbibed. As you do this, the doctor looks at you, sees your eyes become like pinpoints, and she looks down and just goes, "Oh no," and like kind of fumbles around and then shuts the box. She looks at you, she takes a little pen light out and like looks straight in your eyes. As she does that, you can see everything is normal, and then and it goes, "Oh," and it's like you were just looking into the face of God, and there's just kaleidoscope effects happening. That is a failure.
Can I use my once in every roll?
You can.
Alright. And I'm gonna use my feet lucky.
Okay.
'Cause
Don't want to trip balls.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't want to be the first thing you do at this party to be like,
Yeah.
Just
I
as
also
a
wanna be
reminder,
social.
19 was a failure.
Okay, I rolled a 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Poopy roll.
do well.
Up.
that's a 2. I get 2 more rolls. It's a natural 20.
There you go.
Natural 20. In this moment, you can feel
like,
as
"Not
if
you, God."
you're about to have your constitution almost irrevocably affected. And in this moment, you resist it. You see the face of God and you blink. You say, no, I will not behold this. You have seen too much darkness
This
in your
is the
life to behold this
Third
light.
time, Bubs. Once at the dance party from your dance character, and then another time, I believe, being cast upon by, I think, like a mage on the Vest ship.
Mhm.
So Bub's like kind of used to seeing, looking into the void and just not looking down.
This isn't the
I'm
void.
glowing now,
This
bitch.
is like
This is
radiant
drugs.
light. You are looking into like you are looking into chaos theory
Yeah.
made whole. You see a butterfly whose wings flap, and as they do, it is like these windows of paint, like stained glass, shatter and become different realities. You see a Bubs with like Elvis Presley hair. You see all kinds of things. But then in that moment, with a natural 20, you succeed.
Yeah.
You gain a +2 morale bonus to saves against fear for the next hour. You gain 2 stamina points per level. And
Forever?
any stamina points exceeding your maximum are lost first when you are injured and can't be recovered. Any remaining are lost the next time you rest to recover stamina. So until you rest.
It's like temporary.
And you feel great. Bubbles, you
26.
are absolutely like tripping balls in this moment as you are like you take this
Not
drug, you
to
take
do
a
that.
full dose in your eyes. You don't get
You
poisoned. You don't have
succeeded.
any of the negative effects with it.
You
But
just get a bunch
Bubbles.
of bonuses, dude.
You look around
It's like
and
you just,
across this
like,
party now,
had a
you-
glass of alcohol.
when you look, you are looking not just at people, but you are also looking a little bit at their intentions. And in this moment, Bubbles, you are getting these sort of vague elements of detect thoughts that is happening. Not quite that third level, but right at the beginning of it. And you're feeling intentions around people. You kind of like look over at Gibbs and you feel this hunger,
Food.
ravenous, just rolling off of Gibbs. And you can feel Gibbs like every couple of seconds, like feeling how many pockets are left, how much space is
The void's
available.
been with me the whole time.
I am the
Yeah,
void.
and it's hard because there's a constant drain that is happening on these resources in the form of Gibbs herself. But you feel this, and there is like you're hi. It's not unpleasant.
ASMR.
It's a lot.
That's for the Patreon.
And so to focus on that, and every now and then somebody walks by with like a silver tray, it has glasses on it. You see yourself, golden makeup, like and you're truly stunning when you see it. It's hard to believe, and immediately you feel a little defensive. You're like,
Who's that handsome man?
immediately you're like, Miles. Like there are times where like you feel this like overwhelming, like who is this person? And then you realize it's you. And then like every now and then that person just winks at you, and you remember you're really stoned. Like you look at your watch, 30 seconds has gone by. It's gonna be a long night, but it feels good, and yeah, that's what's going on.
Bubbles, are you okay? Bubbles.
So who should we talk to first?
Echo's kind of like looking around, casing the party.
Sure.
I think maybe like just sees Bubs smiling with way more confidence than Bubs had before. And it's like, Bubs is doing well with undercover work. Good job, Bubbles. And is kind of looking around, looking to avoid Jacinto and Harbinger peeps, but looking for more USR types. Are those here or not really?
Make a perception check.
How perceptive am I? That's a 35.
Nice.
Okay, with a 35, you see these Bolita. They are kind of gathered around one table. You can see by themselves, kind of aloof, this Phantomite off at a different table. They are currently imbibing these little pink tablets, almost like candy. You see they pop one under their tongue and it just dissolves and becomes almost like glitter in their mouth before it just almost seems to like vanish down their throat. They don't seem to visibly swallow. But they are just relaxing off on that corner. They don't seem to have anything really to do with that. You do see a cluster of people around one of these tables who all You see a Lashunta who, like, smiling. They're a little bit on the older side. They're wearing a robe. With their makeup and everything, you clock them immediately as, like, a much upper level, like, corporate type. Shade, this is an individual that you have seen belonging to Harbinger Robotics. Echo, at this table, you see as well, there is a larger, like, pretty muscular looking human. There is a Kaisar. And there is one other individual who is not on that plane but was already here.
GPF lady?
No, you see a human male with blonde hair. They're thin. They're about 6'2". You see closely shaved sides of the hair that's kind of faded up and then forward, hanging above the eyes, like a human being. And they're sitting there at that table as well. That is a table full of USR Harbinger folks, and if you're trying to avoid them, you want to stay well away from the left side of the room.
It's Jacinto Harbinger folks, right?
That is just the Harbinger folks, and they're at one table. You see, and I would say, Shade, you kind of looking for that group. You know that those folks are in one kind of cluster. You see, separate from them, two of the Harbinger folks have gone off. They're over by, like, the drugs and alcohol, ordering cocktails. You see the human individual with the Jacinto pin, who is kind of like hanging out over there, and then very, very stressed out looking, still wearing a sweater vest, kind of sweating, this other human being. And they're holding like a tray with like 13 cocktails on it. Everybody else over at the table that Echo had seen. On top of all of them, Echo, you can see there is a female Ashunta, long blonde hair in a 4-strand braid, who is speaking with an uplifted bear who looks a little bit like an Asiatic brown bear. You can see like the crescent moon of white fur on their chest, kind of peeking out from this robe.
There's a ring.
You can see they do have a number of like little sort of like scars and things peeking out from the fur. You could see a pair of humans who are both very athletic looking. They have these like really kind of stylized haircuts. One has a very short ponytail, but both very dark curly hair. And aside from like the robes, they have like very thick gold chains, a lot of jewelry on. They look pretty well to do. You do not see anybody else from like the USR. You don't note the individual who you have all seen from the GPF here at this time.
Is Paingrift here?
You do not note the person that you had seen from the GPF here at this time.
I would prefer to avoid the GPF and Harbinger if someone else would care to take them. However, as I am not great at interacting with others, I feel it might be better if I just circulate the room and pick up on conversations.
It would be best for all of us to live relatively low. This is vacation. We don't want to raise any suspicion.
I will take from trays as they pass by. I'm so proud of you.
Great. I'm gonna have to go talk to not related to the Harbinger people. The Hazard Scout of the Uplifted Bear.
Okay.
What was their job title that I was told?
You had heard that they were a hazardous environment wayfinder.
Yeah.
Elite hazardous.
Yeah. That sounds like, and they're not a Harbinger person.
As far as you know.
Okay, great.
Okay. You make your way over to them. You can see they're talking to this Lashunta, and they kind of nod and they say, "Well, if you think that's something, you should head to the moons of Calabraxis. They have trees that will eat a man whole, and eat an uplifted bear in 2 bites." And the Lashunta kind of laughs, and she says, "Well, Castroval is well known for its predators. I imagine." Then they turn and they see you just kind of standing there.
Yeah, and I'm like politely waiting.
And the Lashunta says, "I'm sorry, is dinner being served?"
No, I don't work here.
Oh. And the uplifted bear just says, "What is it that we can help you with?"
Oh, I happened to catch wind of your job title, and I found it really interesting, so I just wanted to hear a little bit about it. If you were inclined, I don't mean to intrude or anything, but just a casual curiosity.
The Lashunta is about to start talking, but the uplifted bear said, I would be happy to talk about what I do. I'm a scout of dangerous locations, and I've traveled all across this galaxy for many people. My services are expensive, but I offer 2 things: discretion and guaranteed success. What do you want to know?
Ever traverse acid clouds?
He nods his head. Acid clouds can be difficult, but not insurmountable. What sort of acid are we speaking?
Acid rainstorms.
Well, yes, of course, but hydrochloric? Are we speaking about something that is a little bit more fusion-based?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Are you familiar with the Aphrodite on Mars?
He smiles and he says, that's child's play.
Oh, good.
But
What would you recommend then?
for you,
I happen to be going there at some point.
I would stay in the upper part of Aphrodite. Don't bother yourselves by going down to the sprawls.
Oh, why? What's there? Something dangerous? I'm trying to like tease him into telling me dangerous things about Sprawls of Aphrodite.
Make a diplomacy check.
Cool. And I'll stroke egos and do whatever I have to do. Diplomacy?
Yeah.
Egos! I said egos!
You take out your keys, you throw them in a bowl.
We did
The
say
bowl
that-
just has like some food in it.
We
People
did
are
say
like,
that
what are you
Gibbs was
doing?
fluffy.
Yeah.
Is that what we
23.
call
23.
them these days?
He smiles and he
Language is a
says,
good
not
thing.
so dangerous, little Yosoki, but there are dangerous people down there. The environment is the least of your concerns, unless you should fall into the toxic sludge directly.
Yeah, I don't want that. That sounds bad.
It will mutate you horribly.
Ruin my good haircut.
I'm picturing Gibbs just sitting there being like, that sounds terrible. Little cloud thought bubble diving into the
exactly.
sludge.
Echo walks by and like pings through the telepathic connection. Mutant gangs, ask about mutant gangs.
Oh man, I've heard only whispers of mutant gangs that rove the streets.
He nods his head.
Have you been there?
He says, I've been there before. Yes, of course.
What were you doing there? I don't know how to flirt with you, Joe.
The guy's first rule was, I'm discreet.
This is flirting?
I don't know.
Wow, okay.
I'm trying to get information.
This is
And I
a
look cute and
business
clean.
conference.
I don't want to hire him. I just want him to tell me what he knows.
I feel like
He
he thought he wanted.
smiles and he says, the sludgies are the most dangerous group. You can't reason with them. They attack anybody who enters their terrain and try to convert them to their own mutant order. Be very cautious around them. Their mutations can sometimes debilitate them, but just as often can give them unique abilities that are dangerous while they're alive. The Biomancers of Oris are another group. They're more religious in nature, though after their leader was taken in by some mercenary group, I believe, they haven't quite been so threatening.
Biomancers of what?
The Biomancers of Oris.
Like Oris Bay?
Oris
Oris.
is
It's a
a
god.
god.
Oh,
but
sorry.
Of evolution. And then there is not really a gang, a strange group of androids called the Edict. And the Edict also have weapons of a sort, but mostly to protect their strange little farm.
You didn't finish what you said about the Biomancers of Oris, the religion, but they lost their leader, something.
And they haven't been as threatening since then.
Uh,
Oh, that was the bounty.
that was good.
Yeah, he's helpful. Wow, this is really so interesting. Hold on, how do I say that more sincerely? Because I'm sincere. This is so interesting. This is so interesting. This is so interesting.
This is a clip earlier
Are
when
you
Gibbs
alright,
is like in
Lily?
the
So
mirror,
cute.
like practicing her lines.
And I'm like fucking it up. Yeah, no, that's really cool, but super scary sounding. What a bummer. Why is there so much pits of junk or
From this, the Lashunta finally speaks up again, and she says, well, the humans, of course. You know how they are, just polluting everything around them.
right?
They take for granted all of the clean environments. They take for granted the natural resources. You don't need to develop that heavily. Look at Castroval. We've been around for longer than humans have been, and we have pristine forests, beautiful environments, and balanced ecosystems.
Gibbs will say in Castrovalian, as the only other language she's besides Basque, I hope to see it someday.
You could see she opens her eyes, her eyebrows kind of flutter a little bit, and she says, I've never met a Yosoki of such culture before. Where have you been on our fair planet?
Honestly, under a rock. But I'm trying to make it out into the world more.
You say honestly under a rock. No problem. She
Never heard
smiles
of
at this,
a rock.
and she says, well, if you ever want to see a beautiful and unusual part of Castroval, you could make your way to the Labu Mesa. I'm a city councilor there. And
Oh,
I'd be
are
happy
you?
to give you a tour. Yes.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name is Lamiko.
Lamiko, so nice to meet you.
She nods and she says, Lamiko Shimizu. You could find me at the city councilor's office in Labu Mesa. We're sort of a desert community, and so getting out to the hot springs here is a rare treat each month.
Oh, every month. This is amazing.
Well, I hope to increase it to 2 times a month once I start getting more vacation in a few years. The uplifted bear looks back and forth and kind of gets like bored at this point. You see the eyes kind of glazing
Yeah.
over. Anything else that you're saying to them?
Nope. I will politely continue the conversation until it reaches its organic end.
Easy enough. So the camera like.
What's the
blurs
bear's
in.
name? Sorry.
The uplifted bear wouldn't have.
I'll
if
ask
you
it at some
ask,
point.
His name is Bronze and Gold.
Cool. Nice. And I'll let Lamiko continue to talk about themselves, and I think Spice would love to hear this conversation, but Spice is not here, so we'll store it in my brain for later.
Sounds like a plan. Anybody else?
I would like to kind of Bubs. I feel like Bubs, like with his high fortitude roll,
Sure.
starts to at least sober up a little bit. He tries to like do like a little bit of mantras and stuff. He still feels like some side effects, and he kind of recognizes that like he's having the ability to at least hear thoughts, and it's not like a side effect of like you know, like his mental condition, but more because of the drug.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's like kind of like being like, okay, well, I can use this to my advantage.
Yes.
So he's going to kind of just casually walk around the middle of the room, close to the left side, but just like kind of like with purpose.
Okay.
As if I'm like trying to look for someone.
Okay, and now you can see all the same people that I've described. Whose thoughts are you trying to kind of get a glimpse at
I
first?
want to get the blonde human first.
The blonde human.
Yes,
Give me 1 moment.
with the shaved head.
Gotcha.
Because she's the
gotcha.
cutest.
I think it's a he. but
Yeah, it's a
give me
he.
1 second. Okay, so you get over closer to him. You can see this is an individual who. Let me get to my guest list here.
It's eating a bunch of crayons, right?
They're a human. They're about 30. You can see the pale skin, the blonde hair, thin. They're about 6'2". As you get closer to them, you can kind of hear these thoughts and these feelings. And they're of a little bit of like anxiety. They're a little bit of pride. And you get the sense, make a sense motive check as you kind of get this bundle of emotions. They keep glancing over at the table and specifically at this kind of like higher up woman who seems to be commanding the presence of everybody there.
12.
You get the sense that he's just looking to fuck.
Okay.
This
Well,
is an
so
orgy
this is an
after all.
orgy.
Yeah, definitely what's happening here.
Bubs is going to
Once you look around and you're like, wait a second.
Everybody's
I've
looking
heard
at fuck.
about these. Steele told me about a movie, some guy named Prince Vaughn maybe, and it's called Swingers, and this seems to be something similar.
Bubs is just going to keep making his way closer to the left side of the room. Maybe like just acting like he's just looking for someone, casually just picking up drinks that he's not going to drink from like the cocktail people to seem like he's busy and he's doing stuff.
Okay,
And
so
he's,
you're
like,
just
blending in.
relocating cocktails from one tray to another.
Well, no, he's just picking up one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm nursing it.
Yeah.
Um,
So you make your way over towards this group that is a little bit more harbinger centric.
Yeah.
And over there are a number of different kind of thoughts. Which person are you trying to really pick up on first?
I think I'm going to do the human with the staff of Codicus.
That's over on the other side.
Okay,
of
that's
the
Dr.
room,
Shay. Then I would like to do.
You can see she's standing at the bar right now with this very nervous looking
Okay.
human who seems to be calming down a little bit, speaking to her.
Okay.
She
I
seems to be kind of like joking
I'd
around.
rather do the Khazar.
Okay, no problem. So you go up to this Kaiser, or you walk by them.
Yeah,
very
walk by.
nonchalantly.
Yes.
They're thinking about sunshine and rainbows, and about money. Make a sense motive check.
Please, that's good sense motive. I keep rolling 4s.
Sunshine, rainbows, and money.
That sucks. That's a 9. Plus, it's 15.
Maybe they already engage in the same kind of intoxicants that you have, because sunshine, rainbows, and money, that just seems like, weird, kind of maybe more drug related. Or maybe this person's really happy about something that's happened for them recently at work. It's hard to really suss out details because there is other things running through their system, but they're happy. They're in a good mood. They seem pretty jazzed.
Bubs will just kind of like make eye contact and kind of like there's like smooth jazz. Bubs will just like kind of like moving around, kind of just doing eye contact and then like move around.
Sure, no problem. You casually blend into the party.
Yeah.
Anything anybody else is doing?
As this is a party, would you prefer to assist me in some light undercover work? It will look strange if we all spread out and do not stick with groups.
I had been intending to do some as well.
And like
I'm
Echo
carrying
kind of
Squeak around too because I'm using Squeak for cover too. I mean, not
get-
carrying around, but like he's
Somebody pulls out a gun, you hold Squeak out in front of you.
he's
Echo kind of
honestly-
gestures to like
He's
a
the
drink
lead.
table near the
But he's got his
Jacinto
little,
crowd.
he's got his little his robe.
With what?
Echo kind of gestures to a drink like area that would be near the Jacinto crowd.
Sure.
Yes,
Shall we perhaps get some beverages?
I will follow or walk towards the direction.
And then like Echo like kind of turns so that they're like facing away from the Jacinto group and like has like their foils extend just a little bit to
No
hear
problem.
better.
As you're approaching, you can hear the really nervous looking human is talking to this person who says, "So again, just because I thought maybe you were a nurse, you'd know. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to offend you at all." And the nurse, who's just like moving this thing around in her drink, just goes, "It's really okay. It's a misunderstanding, I guess. You shouldn't even have to." And then they see you like approaching. And she turns and she says, "It really isn't even your job." And she smiles and kind of turns and walks away. And this guy, like sitting here now with a tray with like 15 drinks on it, kind of stands aside to allow you access to the bar. You see the doctor is behind the bar. She turns as she mixes up this last drink and sets it on the tray. She looks at you and she says, "Oh, how are the ligaments?
They are in working order.
They haven't popped at all."
Should they?
No, not at all. They just sometimes do.
I shall take that under advisement.
She nods and just says, "Can I get you anything for the pain?"
I am really all right. I indulged in a sweatish massage.
Oh, I believe it's pronounced sweatish massage. But that's good.
Sweatish.
Sure.
Sweatish.
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 You can see, like, every time that one of you talks, she cringes a little bit more. But she says, "No, it's really okay. I do recommend taking something for the pain, though. We have a lot of things."
I have heard that spas often have water that is infused with various items. Okra, perhaps.
Okra is a thing that you could take for pain. Opiates also very effective for pain from a
What a
medical
pushy.
standpoint.
And while they're like just ordering straight up bullshit water,
Yeah.
they're trying to pay attention to the Jacinto group that's like sitting at the nearby
Sure,
table.
no problem. Make a perception check.
Yeah. None of them brought the briefcases or anything that they had with them, did they?
So to be clear, when you say Jacinto group,
It's
you're
just
talking about
one
just the
Jacinto
one
rep.
woman with the
One Jacinto
Yeah, it's
rep,
only one.
and
Yeah.
then
Rest
4
of her
or
rep.
5 Harbinger.
Four Harbinger
affiliate-
Robotics folks showed up
Yeah.
on the ship. There's 5 total in this
Yeah,
place.
because there was the one person who
Yeah,
was
and she's like hanging out with people right now, right?
already there.
She
Or she
was
left?
hanging out. She just
She was at the
left. She was
bar.
the one at the bar. She's
Gotcha.
yeah.
She was the
walked
one
away.
that you had overheard
Well,
that
Echo
last
would be
bit of
then be
conversation
just
and
trying
went
to
that way.
overhear any tidbits of interesting conversation to get an idea of where to head next.
Yeah, make a perception check.
So that's going to be a 34.
For
Shade would
34.
get a drink and then go back towards where the Harbinger and, well, see where the Jacinto woman is going and then determine which one to kind of check on.
So you look around, you see this Jacinto woman kind of stirring her cocktail, looking around as well, and you lock eyes from across the room. You can see she smiles at you and she waves you over.
She noticed you noticing her.
I'm being summoned by the Jacinto woman.
Maybe she thinks you're cute. I'm not there.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Man, you got Kara.
It's really good. Well, you shouldn't keep her waiting.
I'll maintain an open line. I'm gonna head over.
Now about where to put our room keys.
Oh, there's the baskets back here. Here you go.
You see, yeah, you can see like this guy in like a velvet jumpsuit. No, you make your way over to this woman. She smiles at you and she says, "I just got in and I don't really have anybody to sit with. You don't seem to either. Would you sit with me?"
Certainly.
She gestures to the table, pulls out her own chair, and sits down. You can see at about this moment, a few folks have come around and they have these little silver cloches and these trays, and they're kind of put down at various tables and opened up, and there are just different little hors d'oeuvres that are set up around little warm things. Gibbs, your eyes just zoom in. You're entertaining people. You're like talking to this Asiatic bear, uplifted Asiatic bear, and so Shinto, the conversation hasn't broken yet, but your attention gone. You're just like looking at these appetizers.
Bob's just gonna kind of
Yeah.
wiggle his way to Gibbs
Great.
and try to steal Gibbs from the conversation into the appetizer table.
Okay, no
Nice.
problem.
Yeah.
You see the desire meter is like overwhelming this corner of the room.
There's just like a growing black
Yeah.
fog that's like emanating.
Excuse me.
Gibbs, if I take you and I help you with some food, will you help me social? Just be some social with me. There's some people I want to
Yeah,
do some undercover work with.
sure. You know what I was thinking though? All these people are here. Their rooms are
You're just saying this in front of.
No, we're
Okay.
Yeah.
we're
They're at the
sorting.
apps
Yeah,
table.
We're at the
Yeah,
private
yeah.
cloche.
Gotcha, okay.
I hold up the
There-
cloche and we're
Okay.
just talking.
Yeah, continue. Have you noticed?
Are empty rooms helpful to us? Going through things. Kids will say this telepathically. Telepathically. Telepathically.
You made it so I couldn't
Telepathic.
say it right. I was like, telepathically.
That's right? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
No, that's a city in Greece.
I think that would be a good idea, but I don't know. I feel like that's more Echo's department. I'm not super good at breaking into rooms without, breaking down the door.
Me too. Okay.
But
But let's socialize.
yeah, there's a fermenti over there who has a bunch of skulls on him. He's kind of intimidating, but I don't know. It seems like Harbinger has all these different species here. Do you think they're like representatives of their planet or something?
Maybe, but maybe they just have a really strong DEIE hiring program. I don't know. Can I sense motive that? Like,
Sure, make a sense motive check for the DEI policies of Harbinger Robotics.
my sense motive is bonkers. 26.
With the 26, that's not high enough to send
Yeah.
specific policies and procedures in an organization that you've never
Do they have a
belonged to.
good company culture?
You haven't heard a ton about it, but what I will say is
4
when you were
stars on
aboard the
the
Harbinger
review.
robotic ship,
Yeah.
it wasn't all humans.
Right.
Many of the people that you spoke to weren't humans, and those are people in positions of power. You went into the Harbinger robotics sort of like internal lab, and you saw a diversity of species represented within like the portraits of the main office.
Yeah.
They're compared especially to like Jacinto. When you went into the Jacinto Crane
Yeah.
store, it looked literally like an Apple store.
Right.
Yeah.
The people who work there all human. This is a much more diverse company. What that means,
Yeah.
whether it means anything,
Yeah, it could be good, diverse, or it could
Yeah.
be, like
They
hey,
hate humans and
well, no, I could say it could be like more of like, hey, let's go to this planet and maybe we'll have this one person who we bring to the spa and we kind of set up like a deal where we make like an oil contract or something with the people, like something like that.
yeah, but I say let's go with your guy. If you want to talk to them, we can do that.
We're big time oil tycoons.
We can figure it out. Let's go.
Where's the guy wearing a 10-gallon hat?
Yeah.
in the hot springs.
Okay. Yeah, me and Gibbs will make our way over to the Fermenti.
Okay. And you make your way over to which?
The Fermenti with the
The
skulls.
Bridger of
The Harbinger. It's not Harbinger.
Gotcha. Okay.
Who's being coy with the word Harbinger?
The Fentomite.
Yes, the
Fentomite,
Fentomite.
Bridger of something.
Okay.
It's Harbinger. He was just saying Bridger.
No,
Oh,
it's Bridger
Bridger?
of something.
Bridger is a make a cultures check.
Isn't it like a
I just said a thing.
Oh,
It's
a
a.
woo thing?
I literally thought.
You said a thing and you just let it roll.
I just let
In
it
that
roll.
case,
I thought it was a sex thing for the orgy.
I would like
Make
to
a
go
cultures check.
to
And if you're proficient in orgies, then
around one of the
plus 6
robotic
additional
people then?
bonus.
Oh, +6?
Huh?
I thought you
Natural
were trying to be
20.
coy and say like Harbinger.
No. Bridger.
Could I go on the robotics people then instead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're with Jacinto, now we're going to Harbinger.
Yeah.
Okay.
You make your
I
way
was just
over.
at the bar.
Yeah.
Like, I did have a plan.
Sorry.
Everyone was seduced. Fuck me.
You still hear the combo.
And Bubs is going to talk about fuck. One second.
I have to sit in the chair.
Now I get it.
Yeah, Bubs is going to just be talking about just casually try to mention the name Yelenyik.
Okay.
What's that from?
It's she's from Harbinger, and it's someone who was there's the 5th episode when we went into the laser tag,
Mhm.
and I believe it was her son was the one we saved.
Gibbs is gonna contribute to the conversation by talking about new technology,
Yeah.
but in a way that's like not totally correct. So like, hopefully someone will like correct her.
Bubs is going to be trying to correct her. Oh no, it's more interesting than that, Gibbs. It's more like AI that's like more, and he's going to start getting into like that species that was the jackhammer that was sentient. I forget what this race is called.
SROs.
Yeah, SROs. Bubs is going to start talking a little bit about SROs. He's going to start getting into a little bit of conversations. He's like kind of danced with the director about like, well, Gibbs, it's like it's really interesting because if you think about it, like, what are feelings? I mean, can you feel freedom if a ship has an AI in it and it feels freedom to go anywhere? I mean, it's a human experience, to feel the wind under your arms when you're on a ship, going through speed and the air hitting you, but freedom, actual to be able to go somewhere anywhere you want. That's a human experience, but it's somehow AI can experience that too. It's interesting.
I don't know. Gibbs is gonna play the skeptic. I don't know. AI is maybe not that good. Cool.
You notice most of the people at this Harbinger robotics table actively ignoring you.
Oh, shit.
The one exception,
Okay.
I will say, is this individual who is a Lashunta. You can see a little bit heavier set, a little older. This woman, very like sweet look on her face, seems to have kind of the position of power at this table. And when you say artificial intelligence, her eyes lock on you, Bubbles,
Nice.
for just a second. And then they kind of break away. She smiles sweetly and just kind of nods to somebody else
Yeah.
at the table. But for the rest of that conversation, you feel her eyes every now and then just flick up and look at you.
Does it get any of the flick when I mentioned Yoan Yik, the CEO of Harbinger?
Well, so
Because that's I want to see at the timing of when I said Yoan Yik.
no, it was artificial intelligence.
Okay.
That was really what kind of pinged your intelligence.
Okay. And Bubs will constantly just name drop Yoan a little bit.
Sure, you do that. That doesn't seem to really get a lot
Okay.
of response. You do see, as you say it like louder a couple of times, some of the people kind of turn around. It definitely like registers with them.
Yeah.
Yellen told us that.
No, we don't know Yoan, but we're trying to seem like we're in the know.
Yeah. They seem to be pretty preoccupied. And as you listen to the conversation, you can hear that they are talking about finally, after landing a contract with the USR
Mhm.
for their robotics division, they deserve this vacation. And they're
Okay.
so grateful for the Harbinger Robotics Chief People Officer, Genevieve Kinterwind, for arranging this for them. You see that they primarily are owing the success to an individual named Amos, who is the larger human who kind of like nods and holds up a drink. The Kaiser, like toasts them for
Mhm.
being the sort of reason for this acquisition.
And this is the older woman who is excited about getting this contract.
No, the older woman
Who
stays
is the
pretty quiet.
who's the
with
person
us.
who is excited about the contract?
This is all of them are excited about the
Okay,
contract.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, that's why they're here.
But
They're
Amos
celebrating.
is the
yes.
guy
Amos is the big guy. Okay.
responsible for the
Does
contract.
Echo overhear the conversation?
You do.
Echo like walks by and says, "Oh, is this your first time here?"
You say that to this group.
Mm-hmm.
You could see they all stop their conversation. The whole conversation just dies. They all turn and they look to the Lashunta. And the Lashunta turns to you and she says, I've been here many times before, but for my employees, this is a special treat. Yes.
How very generous of you. It is my first time here as well. And then Echo turns to the like other people at the table. It's like, it is a most transformative experience. Congratulations. And then like Echo like goes off on like a tangent of like recommending like the Swedish massage.
I would
Okay.
recommend the
I
Swedish-
recommend your
Swedish.
tendon surgery.
So you go over and
Swedish.
you start doing, basically, though you are not aware of it, Bubbles and Ahsoka had watched like the infomercial for the hotel,
Oh, no!
and you're basically doing it like word for word.
Does Bubs sense the emotion that this person kind of wants to leave this conversation?
Well, what is the intent of doing this, Echo?
So Echo kind of wants to get people excited about the spa and to like basically just be like, I'm not name dropping. I'm just here to be like, the spa is awesome.
Make a diplomacy check.
Does Bub get that emotion? Or sense that emotion?
We're trying to
We're
find out.
about to find out.
Okay.
I'll help. I'll be like, oh yeah, so good. All the things that she's saying.
Wait, no, you're with me. We're not.
She's talking to the
Okay,
same group
okay.
we're talking to.
Well, you guys are like talking next to the group.
Yeah, I think we're
Oh.
separate.
They've like
I see.
notably not really engaged
but I
in
see.
it both.
But I want you.
Anyway, have a good night. That's 10.
With a 10, there's like polite nodding, and then after a little bit, the Kaiser stands up from the table. One of their like really long, almost coral-like appendages that comes over the back rests on your shoulder, and they just say, "Hey, you seem like a really good kid, but let me show you the way away from this table." And they kind of like guide
Ouch.
you away from the rest of the table.
Woof.
If
You
he's
hear the
gonna-
Lashunta just says, "Thank you very much for the recommendations," but they like guide you away.
If he takes Echo away,
Yeah.
Echo wants to lift a room key.
Okay. So go ahead and we will say for that.
Bubs is gonna point to Gibbs
Sleight of hand.
to come over with him to this older woman
Just checking
as
his
Echo
laptop
is being
for a second.
pushed away, Joe.
Make a sleight of hand check. Yeah. What?
I want to signal to Gibbs to go over with me to this older woman as Echo is kind of being pushed away.
Sure.
And I kind of want to start doing this like long eye roll motion, and I'm trying to like signal to Gibbs to do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
To show that like, wow, what was that?
Who
Sure,
the fuck
sure.
was that
Ooh.
android?
And I'm trying to give
Alright.
Gibbs like this is the play we're trying to do.
Yeah.
With a 40, as this
Common
person
enemy.
puts this little appendage on you, they turn. You turn and you kind of like, knowing that you've just had this tendon surgery and wearing like the sort of like, you're wearing the Elysium robe.
I'm wearing a glamour projector of the Elysium robe.
So-
the worst.
You know, in this, you kind of turn, and it's very easy for you to like put your elbow up against their body, and they can't even feel your hand as it just enters into the pocket. You feel a couple of things in there. There is a card, absolutely, you can fish that out. There's a credit stick that's in there that you can fish out. There is what is like the equivalent to a wallet that would hold the credit stick. It holds an ID. It holds a Harbinger Robotics ID badge as well. You can take that if you wish as well.
Echo's gonna leave that and just take the key.
Okay.
I don't think the badge would be useful.
So you take the room key, and you have a
And it would
key.
be noticed.
And reported.
Yeah, like a room key missing in a hotel, you'd probably just be like, I just didn't put it away securely.
And you're looking at people who are all, there's a table of drugs available, and most people are imbibing in them. So like losing a key, not a big
And they
deal.
give you new ones.
And you have room 002's key in your possession.
Nice. Love
Echo
it.
walks, follows along, and then just kind of gets shoved into a corner basically. And once the Kaisar leaves and heads back to the table, and no one's looking at them,
Zips right back in front of him.
The Kaiser, the
Shows
Kaiser
up
does
there
get,
before
get
he
you
gets
away,
back.
and the Kaiser goes, "Look, you seem like a great kid, and I'm sure you mean well. This is an executive group. They don't need a tour. Okay, we've got our own sort of deal worked out here. So just yeah. Here's my card." And they reach into the pocket, and you can see for a second they have to look, and they look in the other pocket, and finally from their wallet that you had moved to the side to pull away the key card, they pull out a business card and hand it to you.
They're
And
hitting
it
on you?
says,
they are
Never need a
not.
job or an internship.
Yeah, this is like a bouncer.
Give me a call and maybe you can work.
Harbinger Robotics Vice President of Consumer Design, Jixminto Clicksralt. And they say, I mostly run the consumer goods, Harbinger Kids, Harbinger Lifestyle Hab Units, all falls under me. You seem pretty thrilled about this place. If you're ever looking to sell Hab Units, we're always looking for salespeople. They kind of nod their head and turn back to the group.
You got a job offer.
Wow, that was weird, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
That woman, that
I would
android.
be so embarrassed.
Fucking android.
And Bubs is kind of trying to say it
The
to get this
android says
older
the
woman's
android.
attention. And I imagine Gibbs.
I'm hyping you up.
Yeah.
I'm helping
We're
you.
both.
So you see that, and the woman, you see the eyes flick up at you. She doesn't say anything. Almost pointedly, this group seems to be ignoring you. And as you kind of spoke up, and we're talking more and more about robots, make a sense motor check, both of you.
Nice.
Too
18
obvious.
plus
Plus 6, right?
5.
24 for Bobos.
37.
Plus 2.
Oh, plus 2, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't do
With a
plus 2.
37,
39.
With a 39 Gibbs for you. This group of people are this is Harbinger Robotics. They're the premier robotics group in the USR. They're used to people coming up and being like, wow, I'm such a huge fan of robots. I built my own robot in 3rd grade. I've always wanted to do robot work in my life. And people trying to get jobs that way. Their assumption is that the two of you are just trying to find work. And then you see this woman, this Lashunta, look up at Bubbles, and there's something more to that look. She's interested, but it's not a curiosity that is this looks like a fun conversation. As a Yosoki, and as something that is, your brain is innately very prey-oriented, you feel a predatory interest that is there. But because it is
we need to leave.
10 o'clock and a great place for us to stop for the evening, this is where we're going to end for tonight. As you see this person kind of flick their eyes up at you and then back down, and the whole of the Harbinger Robotics table kind of shuffles their chairs and turns their back to you. Echo, you zip off with this room key intact. And we'll be back next week on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you cannot wait that long, we are going to be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for some Dungeons & Dragons, Courts of Everest. And on Sunday, you could join us right here for an additional live in-person session of
Mosaic Team Fallout.
of Fallout, Black Heart of Texas. It is a second session.
Court team
Our-
Fallout.
The Ghoul Barons gang is going to be rolling through a slightly irradiated tunnel en route to the NCR patrol.
That'll be
fine.
fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. They didn't almost blow themselves up on level 1, and so it certainly won't be hard to get
I've
into.
been through this river before. It'll be fine.
Please, whatever you do, stay safe. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
That was not Spice's mom, right?